Name.
Good morning.
Morning. I am so sorry for the delay, guys.
That's
Been
okay.
crazy.
About 10 seconds.
I so apologize. You guys know I'm never late. I've had a crazy set of things happening trying to rescue my son from some. Hold on, let me turn things on. Anyway, why is the camera? I have yesterday I was moving everything around on my computer in my office, and everything's a little bit messed up. All right. Hi, Janaki. Nice to see
Hi.
you. Hi, Bob. Hi, Afra. Hi, Lee. I was once again, hold on. My headsets need to be connected, but for now I'll let them be. Yeah, need to connect these guys on. So sorry. I'm always ready, you know that, but all right. Can you guys say something? See if I can hear you well.
Hello.
Nope, not hearing you. Oh, it's connected to. Hold on. My husband isn't home right now, but whenever he's here, he can hear the whole class. And so I just got myself headsets. He can hear at least me, but not everyone else. But it's not connecting, so hold on.
Does your husband attend your class too?
Testing 1, 2.
Try to see if I can connect these guys, and if not, I have to just stop for today. Okay, you know what? I give up. Gotta go. Continue with this. He's not here anyway. So it's not picking it up. All right, you know what though? I do have a cable. Let me try that. I haven't worn headsets since a long time, but lately he's been around more often than in general in the past. He wasn't in the house so much. Okay. All right. How about now? Can somebody say something, please?
Oh, testing 1, 2.
Yes, it's working. I had to put the cable on because I didn't have the chance, but yay, I'm finally here. Okay. So, hi. And
Hello again.
finally. All right. So, of all the people who are here, the only one who's actually new to the class today is Janaki. The rest of you guys kind of know the ropes. So let me focus on that, and anyone else who has questions anyway, because if you came early, it's either because you had questions or you just did the normal thing, which is come at 9. So let me explain. As I said, I just moved things around in my office, and suddenly on the floor, I have my carpet in the wrong spot. I spent all weekend just reorganizing everything, and yeah, then I can't seem to find. Okay, so the things that we are gonna do today before everyone else shows up. Oh, I guess he is here. Just brought me a coffee.
Oh, nice.
My husband is here. I guess oh, that's true because of me. Because of
Does it take your
the
class too?
No, just trying to get Maybe he said hi. No, he normally bikes on Tuesday mornings, and so does Janaki and Lori. But that's true. That's why he's here. Okay, so let me focus on what I was going to say about today's class about about Zoom. So there's a series of things that we do here to make the class work well when I have a lot of people in the room. We use the tools that Zoom has to say yes and no to certain answers. Why am I getting this? Sorry, I feel like everything is, you can barely see me. There, I'm not falling off now. I feel like I'm closer than normal. Anyway, okay, so Janaki, do you see in the bottom of the toolbar, the place where there's either a little heart or a smiley face that says reactions?
I
Like
see
next,
participants, chat, react, share,
that one, react.
yeah, a heart,
So
yeah.
click, yeah, perfect. Okay, click on React and there's all these little emojis and they're all really cute, but they disappear. The one that I need you to use is the round green check mark or the round green red X.
I see
So
that.
go ahead. Okay, so try the check mark. Give me a yes. Everyone else, go ahead and do it. I know a couple of you have a little bit of a hard time finding it too. So please do that. And give me a yes. Actually, Afra, thank you for the
Yes.
little show of thumbs up. But
Yeah,
all
I
of those
did.
guys, all of those disappear. And
I
then when
did. I
when
did.
I'm asking the whole class something and I look, I need to see what stays and see how the yeses stay. So down under all of that, there's the yes with the and the no, which is the green and the red round buttons. Can you find the green one, please? And that one, there you go, perfect. So whenever I'm saying, say, okay, everyone, did this happen? I'll be saying this the whole time. Let me know if this worked for you. Go ahead and do it. And then once you do it, give me a green check mark. And then I'll focus on the people who still haven't done it or have given me a red check mark. Or the next thing you can do is actually ask a question. So in the bottom, do you see that there's raise hand? Go ahead and click on the raise hand. Perfect. So when people raise their hands, and right now the only one who raised their hand was Janaki, but you clicked on it again, so it went down. So keep it raised
Okay.
because 2 clicks takes things off. Two clicks on the green takes it off. And then you go, I said, yeah. And I look and it's like, no, it's because you clicked and then you clicked again. Then it's like up and down. It's like a toggle. Okay. And the same with the hand. And then sometimes after you've answered a question, and I'll lower your hand and you'll lower your hand. And next thing you know, your hand is up again because we both lowered your hand. And then I'll go, oh, is that a new hand? Because I just answered a question. That's kind of what I mean. Did you raise it again? Did we both raise it? Or do you have a new question? Sometimes people have a question and then they come up with another question. So if I see your hand that I just answered a question again, I might go, so did just we leave it up, right? Is it a new hand or do you have a new question? And then when you're done, you can go back and lower your hand. Now, everyone go to the little tools because there's one tool there that I'd never explained too much. And sometimes people are like the plumber arrived, or you need to go pick up your kid from school or something like that, and you'll come back. And there's this little coffee cup at the right end of where the red and the green are. There's a little coffee cup. And it's a really useful one to click on that coffee cup to just tell me that you're not there, because otherwise I'll be like, hello, Lee, Janaki, but see how right now Janaki put the I'm away little cup up. Can y'all find it? It's to the far right, of after the yes and the no. There's a couple of faster and slower, and then and there's a little tiny coffee cup. Now I just updated my Zoom today, or yeah, last night. And there's a new one. If you see a new one under the raised hands, you might not see it. There's one that says, I'll be. When you click on that one, you mute yourself and you just kind of disappear from me. So can you try it? Because I have it, but I don't know. Does anyone else have it? It's lower than the raised hand. It's very new. It appeared yesterday. There you go. So Janaki has it. And it says, I'll be right back. And there's this little icon. And let me see what's the icon. It's a little, I can't understand what the icon is. It's like it's a cup or something. Oh, it's an hourglass.
Oh.
It's a little hourglass. And then what happened is that your video turns off and your video turns off and you get muted. So Janaki, if you can hear me, yeah, there you go. So when you press that one, you don't only tell me I'm away. Like right now, Catherine has the I'm away, and that's great because I kind of still see, but the other one turns you to, so if you don't have it yet, that's fine. But if you have it, Yeah, it's okay. When you update your Zoom, you'll have it. I just wanted to, because I always say the raise hand is at the bottom and now it's next to the bottom. And that's kind of going to be confusing because lots of people are going to go look for it and won't see it. But anyway, all right. The next thing I need us to do, hold on, Catherine, I'm getting a couple of things in before 4 minutes from now that I started the class late for the first time in forever. And I need to say a couple more things to Janaki, who has never taken my class, before I can answer general questions. The other one was to share your screen. Have you ever shared your screen, Janaki?
I think I have, yeah.
Good. Well, then let's go ahead and try it, because that's a very typical thing that we need to do in this class. So go ahead, because if you're in a Mac, sharing your screen the first time needs some permissions. So maybe your permissions are already set up. Go ahead and click on the share screen button, which is the green one with up arrow. And then there's another window that appears, and you need to, in the bottom, there's another share, and it's blue button with white letters.
Okay, wait, let's start again. What do? I click
Okay, so there's a green button with
share.
a up arrow. Yeah,
Okay.
good. Now the Afra, that's you, and good, you're going to share, but I'm going to stop your share. I'm trying to get only one person to share at a time. So I just stopped Afra's share. Do you find the green button, Janaki?
I
Okay.
did, and now it said someone else is sharing.
Yeah, I
send
stopped.
it-
You have to start again, because Afra shared in the middle. So now you
Okay.
have to start from zero. Only one person can share at a time. So now you press on the green button again, and then there's another button that says share, that's blue with white letters at the bottom right.
And
Do
it
you see
says
that one?
allow Zoom Workplace to share your screen.
Okay, so that's your preferences. Okay, so I guess you hadn't shared it in this settings.
No,
So now go to the settings. What does it say? Go to settings or preferences? You have to,
Zoom, so turn it on.
yeah, no, but you need to tell me what you're seeing, because I need to tell you exactly what to do. So,
Says screen and system audio recording. Screen and system audio recording. Allow the applications below to record the content of your screen.
okay, say yes to that.
Okay, I did.
And then,
I get a privacy and security, and so
yeah. Okay, so then go to the security. It'll open your settings. And then now, once it's open, there's going to be like a little slider, a little bubble on the right side of the word Zoom. That's gray. You need to click on it to turn it blue, but then it'll ask you for your computer's password.
I did that, and
So put in your computer password.
I did.
Okay. One,
And it's
it'll say now
my-
or later. Say later.
Oh,
No,
later. Okay.
later. Okay, great. Now that you're done, go back to the reactions button and no, not the reactions button. Go back to the share and share your screen, and this time it should work. So basically, perfect. There you go. Now I can see your screen, and then the last message that you have there. You're done. No, don't say deny. You've done it, right? So yeah, so you can open this into settings, and this time it'll be set up so you can go. All right, cool. I'll stop your share and ready to go. The last thing, Janaki, is we need to add, everyone has to add their last name to their names. And I'm seeing, for example, Yolanda, the second computer, Alan, is okay. And Janaki, I need to have the name of the roster, and it's fine to have the first name. Can you remind me your last name?
Wilkinson.
Okay, so do you see where your video of you is?
Yes.
Upper right, there's like 3 little dots. When you put your mouse over it, click on that, and down the row that says rename, and just add your last name. The roster has you as your first name and last name. Janaki is fine. I want that because I want people to have the first name they want to be called. But for the last name, I need to have the same one that's on the roster. All right, everyone else has added that. Thank you. And it's 9:20, time to welcome everyone else. And sorry, I was running a little bit behind this morning, and so I had just finished catching Janaki up with she's the only person who's new to our class today, and then Lori, who's just joining us right now, but she's taken one of my classes before, so she knew some of the basics. And then we're gonna review with everyone how to get to the class handouts. But for now, I'm gonna say welcome to everyone. So hi, Catherine. Hi, Afra. Let me
Hi.
see. Bob is here. Alan. Hi, Heidi. And Yolanda. Nice to see you. And Lori. Hi. Nice to see you. And I don't know if you can hear me yet, Lori. And Lee. Okay. So the next thing we all have to do, just like Lori just did, she went to the chat and said hi, and quite a few of you guys said checking in here, hello. So now everyone here, I'm going to say good morning in the chat. So anyone who hasn't yet done that, can you head over to the chat and give a little hey ho, hello, that you're here. And I'm going to open this up to see it. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remind you all how to get to the class files and how to then access the class recordings. But first, Catherine, is the question about the setup like this of the class, or is it something else before
I just need to know if I need to connect my iPad. Are we going to be dealing with the iPads in this class? That was my question.
Great question. So yes, we have in this class, if you have any iPads or iPhones, or even those of you who have a smartwatch tend to be wearing it, but any Apple device that you have around, please bring it over, have it next to the computer. And then when you say connect, I don't necessarily need you to connect with your iPad unless you want a second screen, because it's hard to share that screen anyway. Although the other day someone managed to share their phone for the first time. In the past, students couldn't share their phones. I will be using my phone and my and actually, I told you how some of you who came here early, I had reorganized my whole office, and guess what showed up that I haven't had for 6 months is the iPad. It was sitting in a very strange spot. Trust me, I had some real strange stuff going on. So I do have an iPad now that I could bring out when people have an iPad that they need. Let me bring it over. Hold on. And here it is. Now it's very old. My iPad is not one of the newest ones yet. For some of the stuff, it works very similarly. So sometimes when people ask me questions about the iPad, I'd have to go, well, it's exactly like the phone. But in fact, it isn't exactly like the phone. It is very similar to the phone. I'm putting it here on the left side so that if I need it, I can. Let me let some more people in. So yeah, bring all your stuff, because this class is, of all things, the one where, yes, all of our devices really matter. Okay. And I'm going to show you, in fact, how they connect with each other. Now, some of you appeared twice. So this is mainly for people who just showed up for the first time. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Julie. You might notice that, for example, Alan appears twice. Bob right now is showing up twice. A couple people appeared twice. Catherine sometimes appeared twice. But when you appear twice, what happens is that then you can have Barbara is trying to get in, but she isn't. Which Barbara?
Barbara
Oh,
BB.
Yeah, I told you that she had to register. You said you were going to get through to her. Did you?
I did and ask her where she was. So maybe she hasn't registered in the class. Okay.
Well, she's not in my waiting room.
Okay,
So if you can't text, if you can reach her to her, and
Thank
someone's second computer needs to get the sound off. I think it might be you, Bob.
Okay.
No, it's not the sound. It's, I know you muted yourself. You actually have to turn the sound off.
Yeah.
So on your computer, go to the audio and click on the tiny little arrow to the right of the audio, and then go up to leave computer audio on the computer. Do you see that?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. So if you see the leave computer audio, then from one of them, there we go. And you don't have to leave the video, just the audio. Okay, great. Cool, thank you, that worked. Now I don't have that reverb. Sorry, but I was saying something about the second screen. Oh, that if you have if you don't have space, we're gonna start, I'm gonna start sharing my screen, and then my computer takes over your screen. So right now I'm gonna share my screen, okay? And I'm gonna share this screen like that, and suddenly my screen is probably filling your screen. If so, then you need to hit escape, like the top left key of your keyboard. And when you hit escape, then you can grab the corners of this window where my screen is showing up, go to the very far corner until your mouse turns into a little double-headed arrow, and then click and drag it so that it kind of uses up only half of your screen. Then on the other half, you can do your work. Okay. So if you want to avoid this issue, if you have an iPad or another old laptop that you have in the house, someone else's laptop or whatever, then you can connect twice. And that's what some people are doing. They're connecting with two different devices. They watch me on one and they do the work on the other, and that way you have more space. So at this point, most people know about that. Janaki, if you have anything around that could be a second screen, you're welcome to try that. Otherwise, now I've stopped my share. Otherwise, what we need is for you guys to grab the edges and make things smaller. So I can't share my Zoom screen, right? Zoom doesn't like work, doesn't share itself for some strange reason. Hold on, something really strange is happening to my computer. Huh. Wow. Okay. I'll share with you guys in a minute, but that is weird. All right, well, I'm gonna just show, it doesn't matter for this class, but there's I need to look, there's something weird happening on my computer. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. This is not the same because I am not having right now. Anyway, the way Zoom works is that you can't share, when I share my screen, Zoom doesn't share itself, but I'm gonna share a screen which has a window right now filling my entire screen. See how it does, it's filling my entire screen. So when I share my Zoom with you, it appears like this. It appears filling your entire screen. So after you hit your escape key, ESC for escape is the top left key on your keyboard. Then you go to the far right of your screen. When I mean far right, see where my mouse is? Far right. And when I touch the edge of the screen until the tip of my mouse touches the edge of the screen, there you see, it's almost like I go out of the screen and there that I see like this little tiny arrow that went to the right. And I know it's hard to see. Then I can click and drag and I can bring that guy in to make it smaller. And sometimes you need to go to the edges and the Zoom is in the way, so it gets complicated. And then you can make it, kind of fit. And then you make me fit on one side and then the other side you can do the work. Okay. So that's kind of how it has to be. So I'm going to stop my share. If that worked, fine. And if not, as we start working, Afra, that's probably what's happening to you, that you're seeing your screen instead of mine.
Now I can see your screen.
Now you can see it? Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right. Okay, so hi, Barbara. Did you register for the course? I can't hear you.
I'm checking. I thought I did, but
Yeah. Last class, I told you, hey, you need to still register, but you weren't there. You left after I'd done. So, Catherine said she would let you know because otherwise you won't have
yes,
access
I'll go
to
register
class
for the
files.
class.
Okay,
Okay.
great. But for now, it's okay. Register after, or register online. For those of you who need help, I can help you after class, teach you how to register online. But right now, all I need is for you to stay in class, and then it'll work out. Okay. So, good. So now that now that I have all of you here, let me say why you're here. What are you going to learn today? First of all, I have been, this session, I only have Mac level 1 and Mac level 2. I didn't teach the intro to the Mac. Most of the times I get to do the intro, level 1 and level 2. A lot of people don't take these classes thinking, well, they know enough. And so, they should only take 2. But just so you know, the names of the classes are horrible. It's not about levels. I teach about the system settings and how to handle the basic setups of your computer, like all of the modifying it to your own needs and stuff like that on intro. I talk about the cloud. I do a lot of work in the intro of the class that people have used computers for 20 years do not know how to do. In the second class, the one that we just had, which is Mac level 1, I talk about file management and how to organize and find things on your computer. And we spent this whole level 1 doing that. And now we're in level 2. And in level 2, we talk about the apps that come with your computer. And the apps that come with your computer that I'm talking about are the communication apps, for example, the mail app, the calendar app, the contacts app, notes. I mean, there's so many, I'm not even mentioning all of them. And they're all connected to your other devices. And the question is, how does that all work through the cloud? Same with the files. We did file management and we discovered that a lot of you guys have your files in the cloud. Now we're going to talk about how to use that to our advantage in the fact that if I happen to be writing something on my computer, if I were to check my phone, there it is on my phone. And if I am writing something on my iPad or on my phone, and then boom, if I check my computer, there it is. And that whole system goes through the cloud, and how to use these apps and how to take best advantage of them. So in the people who have other devices that are not Apple devices. I know that a couple of you have Android phones and a couple of you have, well, maybe not in this class. In iLife class, I have people who have PC computers, but they have iPhones. So in this class, I tend to have the other way around. I have people who have Android. So if you have an Android phone, please give me a yes. Remember the yes in the nose? Give me a yes if you have an Android. And I know Julie is one of them, but I think there was someone else who was an Android user in this class. Maybe not. In my iLife, I have a couple of one or two Android users and 3 PC users. Windows users, let's say. Okay, so it's just Julie right now. Okay. So the rest of you, grab your iPhones, have them near you. And those of you who have iPads, give me a yes. I want to know who has an iPad. I'm going to see iPad users. And I'm going to actually put my iPad a bit more in front, because yes, I found my iPad. Those of you who just joined me, I told you that I couldn't find my iPad. Well, yay, I found it. It's an iPad it's a very old iPad, but so I'm seeing 1 thumbs up. Remember, oh no, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 5. So 1, 2, 3, like 5 of you guys have iPads. Okay. If you have iPads, and by the way, by having iPads, the best thing you can do is to click on an email from your iPad and join the class on your iPad, and then you can watch me on one. And so if you said yes to iPad and you're doing everything on one little screen, it's to your advantage to go and join us also on an iPad, and not to have to share your screen with anything. Afra, you shared your screen again. I'm going to stop you. I don't think you're trying to share your screen. I think you just click on the
Yes,
green
I
button
want,
and it happens.
yes, now I have it.
Oh, why did you want to share your screen? Is there a question?
No, I was.
Oh, you wasn't. Okay, great. All right. Cool. So there's quite a few guys that are iPad users. iPhones, I assume all of you except for Julie. So what's happening is that all of these devices that we own, and if you have a smartwatch, that's part of it too. And there's a thing, there's people who have iPods still, if anyone has an iPod. Oh, there you go, Janaki. The sound might become a problem. So where it says connecting to audio, Janaki, say no. on the iPad. And if you guys, whenever you join with a second computer or a second device, it asks you, do you want to connect to audio? And that's when on the second device, you need to say no. And then you don't have to go through the whole reverb and turn the sound off and stuff like that. Then if not, then you have to go to your computer. I think it's you, Lori, now who has sound on too. So go to your computer and find the little audio button. And there's a tiny arrow on the right side of the audio button. And when you click on that, you give these choices. And the one leave computer audio is the one that we need. And so I'm going to let you do that. Sorry, I was demoing how to do it and I actually touched it myself. Even though you couldn't see it, I was saying you need to do this, and boom, I left computer audio myself, so I had to rejoin. So there we go. So now you can have both available. All right. So all of these devices need to be set up with the same Apple ID. And if you don't know what your Apple ID is, we're going to start figuring that out. Sometimes the easiest way to figure out your Apple ID, it could be either on your computer or on your phone. I'm going to go ahead and share this time my phone instead of been sharing my computer. Let me go ahead and share my phone this time and show you how to find out what's your Apple ID. So here's my phone. And I have, this is a school phone, so there's some limitations to it in the sense that I don't have much of a history on it. Like on my real phone, I have a lot of history on it, and this one I don't. So whenever we talk about certain things, you'll notice that you'll have more in it than mine. But there's a lot of apps on it, and whatever apps are on it are the ones that kind of in this front screen are the ones that kind of come with an app with the phone. You might have changed already what you have on one screen or another. It doesn't matter. All of you should have somewhere handy this one, which is the gears, which is settings. A lot of people don't use it and don't know what it's for and get rid of it from the front screen. If so, then head down here to the search, click on search and write the word settings. SETT. All I need to do is SETT. I didn't even write settings, and there it appears on the top. So let's head over to the phone's settings, and we're going to be using the settings a lot. So it would be good to find out where it is. And once you find your phone settings and you open it up, at the very top of the settings, you should see your name. And this phone, as I said, is a school phone. So it says SBCC Business Services. That in your phone, it probably should say your name. You know, in my case, it says Diana Musacchio. In my phone here, it just says SBCC. But click on that little top choice. And here we go. This is all about my Apple ID. See here at the top, it says Apple ID. And that is, then comes my name right here. And this right there is my Apple ID. Okay, so I'm gonna now clarify all these things, and that will be your Apple ID. So what we need to do now is, if you don't know yet that that was your Apple ID, write it down somewhere. For some people, it's like, well, yes, of course, that's my email. And like, oh, well, it's coincidental that it's your email. For some of you guys, it's an old email. It's like a 10 years old email because you've had an Apple ID for 10 years. You might not be using that email address anymore, but it's still your email. Is still your email, is your Apple ID. So whatever is in there will be your Apple ID forever, even if you change your email, even if you don't use this email anymore. It's just that when you sign up for Apple ID, in the past, we could put our own names. And we invented names like other people. You know how in the past you could write in your own, say, create an account, and you would write, you know, my dog is white could be the name of your account. But a lot of people would forget it because they would put whatever gibberish words. And so now they started asking now for 10 years, they've been saying, so what's your email? And people know their emails. So when they write your email, it becomes your Apple ID. But it isn't really your email in the sense that it's just a name. And even if you stop using that email, this isn't connected to that email. It's just a name that people seem to remember. And so that becomes your Apple ID. A lot of people have their old AOL or their old Cox accounts as their Apple ID. You will still have it even if you never use that email anymore. Okay. So forever, this will be your Apple ID. And this Apple ID has to be the one that you set up all your other devices with. So if your phone has this Apple ID, your computer has Apple ID, and your iPad has to have this Apple ID. So how would you check this on your computer? I'm going to stop this. Oh, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm talking. This is when I need to make sure everyone has found their Apple ID. And so if so, give me a yes. If you haven't found it, if you're not sure how to find it, give me a no. And this is by looking at it on your phone. I need everyone to know where their settings are. We're going to be spending so much time here on the settings on your phone, on your iPad, and on your Apple and on your computer. So mainly this is to make sure that you've all gotten to the settings. And in the phone, the settings look like this. If you were already inside of some other place, so over here, I went to this, I'm going to go back to the first page. And when I went in here, I kind of moved in one page. So then I back out again, and then say that you were, maybe the last time we talked, you were, I have to get rid of that marker. Say that the last time we talked, you were under general. And then maybe in there you were under iPhone storage or something like that. So by the time you need to get out, see how you're into sets, you need to go back to general up there and then settings again to get back to the main screen. Okay, so once you go into something, you have to go up here out. And this is the main screen of the settings. Okay, we're going to be using a couple different ones in here. But the thing is, that I've mentioned a few times, so I'm in the main screen of the settings, and I've mentioned a few times how we're going to be talking about the iCloud. And under the main screen of the settings, there's nothing here says iCloud. I'm going down, 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 not a single thing says iCloud, because the iCloud, which connects all of our computers and devices together, is under my Apple ID. So I'm going to click on my name, and down here is where you see the iCloud. This is how we get to the iCloud, by clicking on Apple ID. And we do need all now to find that iCloud setting. So please, down here, let's click on the word iCloud. And then once we are here, we're going to hang for a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to have to turn on the fan. 1 second. To do that, I need to take my headsets off. Sorry, the sun is beginning to hit the side of the house and beginning to warm up. Okay, so now I'm gonna close, turn off your yeses, and now I want you guys to tell me if you got to the iCloud page in your phones. Now, partly why in the summer, when I only teach only 2 classes instead of the first one, I don't focus so much on the iCloud, because I spend usually the intro to the Mac talking about the iCloud. So for some of you guys, the iCloud conversation might be new today, if we didn't talk too much about it in the level 1 class. So any questions you have about the cloud, I'm kind of going to gloss over a little bit the whole cloud explanation. You can take the Mac, the intro to the Mac next class to get the full deal. But right now, the most important thing to know is that the iCloud is where all of our devices connect. Okay. And so you need to have some space up in the cloud, and for free, you get 5 gigabytes for free. Just every single person has 5 gigabytes for free. So over here at the very top, it'll tell you that you have so much of 50 gigabytes used is mine. If you see 5 gigabytes, that means that you are using the basic 5 gigabytes that the Apple gives you for free. If you say 50, it's because 50 means you're paying $1 a month. If you see 200, you're paying $2.99 a month. Okay, so $1 a month would be 50 gigabytes. So that's $12 a year. If you're paying $2.99, that's $35 or so a year, and that's you would have 200 gigabytes. A few of you might have 2 terabytes, and I think Yolanda is one of them. But is there anyone else in this class who had 2 terabytes? I think there was a couple of you guys. Okay, so if you have 2 terabytes, that's because you are paying $9.99 or a month, which is $10 a month. And so at this point, we're talking, you know, a quite an investment. So do we need those or not? And why would we need them? So over here, it'll tell us how much of that space in the cloud we have used. And in my case, looks like I have very little of my 50 gigabytes used. So I'm fine. I have just a little bit of stuff, photos, documents, and not much else. And then the rest is empty. So I'm fine. I can still pay a dollar a month for a long time. But for those of you who are, the slider is kind of full-ish, then that means that you might too soon need to consider moving up one tier in payments. But if you're paying, for example, $9.99 for 2 terabytes, and when you see up here that you're barely using it, the important thing is that the next tier down is 200 gigabytes. So if you're using more than 200 gigabytes, then you're fine. You're in the right place. You have to be paying $9.99. If you're using less than 200 gigabytes, you could go down to $2.99. So that's kind of what the choices are. Typically, people who are paying $9.99, you have a ton of photos, but more than photos, you guys can have 30,000 photos and still it's fine. It's videos. If you have a ton of videos, that's what would push you up. Or like Yolanda's situation where it's 7 people in a family are using it, because you can share the space with your family. So like in my real life, I'm paying $2.99 and I have 200 gigabytes and all 4 of us in my family are using it, right? But some of you guys, like Yolanda, has 7 family users, including one person who uses it a lot. So they're using the $9.99. So anyway, those of one or two of you said that you had $9.99. I saw some nodding. Is it full? So Barbara, are you using more than 200 gigabytes to make sure it's worth it? And Janaki, I saw that you also nodded. Okay. So anyone else who's using more, oh, Catherine. Okay. And I know that you do a lot of videos, so you're using it too. Okay. Great. So then just to make sure, sometimes I find people who are like, oh, no, not at all. Or the other way around, you keep running out of space. If you keep running out of space, then you need to move up one level of payment. And thus, if you're very, very full, next time you take one more video or something like that, boom, it'll start saying you have no space in the cloud. And that means that you need to, change. So over here, you would go to manage your account storage whenever you get to that spot. And then it'll say, change your plan. By the way, this is where you can share with family. Say that your husband is paying $2.99 and you're paying $2.99, you get 400 gigabytes. Maybe at that point, it's better to go up to, you want to share also with your kids or something like that. You might go up to a bigger plan, and then 2 different IDs connect to the same spot. They won't be able to see your stuff and you see theirs, by the way. It's not that. It's just that the space in the cloud can be shared with different people, but you won't be able to access their photos and they won't be able to access yours. Just that it's like one bucket where you put all your, like everyone. I always think about people who are in roommate situation that they share the fridge, and you get the bottom shelf, you get the top shelf. Thing is, in that case, you could sometimes sneak in from top or bottom shelf. Not in this case. It's one storage space, but they're not connected, okay? You just use the space, but it doesn't mean that you need to share your stuff. But if you are interested in that, I never show this, but I thought a lot of you guys might be interested in that. I'm going to click on this to show you. If you say share with family, then you basically have to go down here and invite family. You need to know the email, the Apple ID of the different people that you're inviting. So you click over here to invite family, and then you send those people an invitation over here, and you say to, and you write the in this case, it's a text, it's a message. And so you write to your daughter, your husband, your whoever, and then you send it, and then they'll get this link, they'll click on it, they'll sign in, and that's it. Basically, everyone will be using the same amount of space. So for now, I'm going to say not now. not now, but just wanted to show you with that. In which case, what you will see here is you'll see a big gray bunch and it'll say other, like other people are using this much, and that other person would be the other people who are in your group. So, and whatever is in bright colors is how much you use, okay? So you'll be having this much, and then you'll see a big gray thing here, and that'll be other people who are using your same bunch of stuff, but you just see how much stuff they have. You can't access it at all. All right, so that's the family usage stuff that I normally don't talk about, but let me know if that applies to you and you have some questions later. I can show you a little bit more about that. All right. So here we have on this page, the iCloud storage. If I start, sorry, oof, I clicked on one I didn't mean to. If I scrolling down, this is going to tell me what is using up that space, what apps are using up that space. And I discovered that I have 7 gigabytes in my photos. Guys, in my real phone, I have much more than 7 gigabytes in my photos. This is a sample phone that I use for teaching. And so I have, you know, like, what, 700 photos and like 20 videos or something like that. And that takes up 7 gigabytes. But if you have this is where you probably would have a ton more. Yes, I am sharing my screen, Yolanda. If you don't see it, let me stop my share and share it again. That way you can reset your screen. I'm gonna.
I don't see it. That's why when you say here and here.
Okay, so I'm stopping my share and I'm gonna start again. That way, hopefully this time it'll pop to the top.
Now I see it.
You see it now? Okay.
Yes, thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. So what I was saying is, let me just back up then from the regular Apple ID area. So you go over to the settings, you click on your name, and then, whoops, I clicked on my name in the top and I should have clicked on my name right here. Then you go down to the cloud. And then once you're in the cloud, I'm showing which apps are using the cloud. And over here, it says apps using the cloud. And I have these 4, but if I click on show all, then these are all the apps that are using my cloud, okay? And so if I go over here, cloud, apps using iCloud, this is where we were before. This tells me what space I have. Sorry, this is what was using the cloud, but if I go to manage account storage, then I get to see how much space each one of my apps is taking. So my biggest one is the iCloud Photos. Then it's my iCloud Drive. We talked about this last class. When all of your computer files are in the cloud, you would have quite a bit of stuff, like everything that's in your documents and desktop files on your computer actually are in the cloud, and that's the next space. You might have backups. And in order of up to down, this is all the stuff that's using your cloud space. And if you have one that seems disproportionate, some people suddenly discover way down here, they have like a ton of gigabytes, then it would be at the top. You'd like, I had no idea. Notice that in messages, I don't have much because, again, since this is a fake phone, I don't use the text too much in this one. But in my messages, any videos or photos or stuff that people are sending back and forth, that adds up. And once I had a student who had like 40 gigabytes of messages, and it was like, wow, what's happening? And it's because she and her friends sent back and forth videos of, you know, she was a cat lover, and they would send back and forth tons of little cat videos. Well, her phone and her computer was full because of those videos. So you want to consider, do I really need to keep all these things I'm getting on my messages? And once you've seen them, if you don't need them more from the messages, you can delete them. That will take care of stuff. If you want to keep them, keep them. But you know, it's particular in text, how you scroll down and you never see again the stuff that was sent to you 2 weeks ago. In which case, that stuff that you have never seen, that you don't see anymore, that is still taking up space on your phone and on your computer. So anytime you get a cute little video of something that doesn't, you know, you've seen it once and you're done, I would highly recommend on your text to then delete it. Anyway, Bob, you have a question? Bob, your sound is off on both. So if you're asking a question, I can't hear you. So you must
Yeah,
unmute your stuff.
hi.
Yeah, there you go.
The other day you mentioned your real photos library versus the iCloud photos. What did
No,
you
no, no,
mean
no, no,
by?
no. No, let me explain. My real meaning, this phone that I use is a school phone. So I don't take pictures and use it to send texts and email. It's just a phone that I use for teaching. My real phone is this one, and I have lots of photos in here, my family photos, my, text messages. So in that sense, it's my real phone, the one I
Okay.
use in reality. So so thanks for asking that. It's important to distinguish. It's not that the iCloud isn't a real phone. It's just that this phone is a sample phone and I don't go around using it much. And so I don't get a ton of texts. I don't get a ton of anything in it because no one uses it. See what I mean? That's all. So that's why I have very few messages or texts, and I have like 10 texts total. That's all. So yeah, when I say my real one, my personal, I should say my personal one, no, my real one, that would be a better description of it. So thanks for that. Thanks for
Oh,
that
sure.
question. Anyway, so this is just informative. It doesn't really matter too much what these numbers are right now, other than that these are the apps, okay, that use up your phone space, but it does not mean that necessarily that you don't have any other apps. For example, you might have other apps on your computer that are on your iPhone. You might have a news app. You might have Adobe Photoshop. You can have your Adobe Photoshop on your computer, on your phone. You could have it on your iPad. You could have other stuff, and they will never appear here because those apps do not use the iCloud. The only apps that use the iCloud are the Apple apps that come with your computer, okay? Which is why you're seeing the photos, the cloud, backups, messages, mail. These are the things that come with your computer. I'm going to back up one. Everyone go up here to where it says manage account storage and back up one time. And this thing's apps using the iCloud. Okay, what apps uses the iCloud? And if you want to say show all, this is it. These are the apps that use the iCloud. Okay, now if you notice, most of these are the apps that you use in general, but there's some that maybe you don't use at all. Like some of you guys, like, I didn't know you could follow stocks on the iCloud, and other people are like, oh my God, I check it every day. Some people are like fitness. Didn't know my phone did the fitness. Well, other people use it every day. The wallet, what's all that? So these are all the things that your computer, that your phone can do, okay, and can use. And the most important thing is that these are the ones that we're going to be talking about now. It's the connection between your computer and your phone and your app. For example, to your calendar, to your contacts, to all of that is what we're going to be doing, because then when I write something in my computer, when I take a picture in my computer, if my photos is on, then those photos, when I take it on the phone, those photos move to the cloud. And from the cloud, they move to my computer, or from the cloud, they move to my iPad. Okay. So if this is on, then the moment you take a picture, every other one of your devices has that photo. The moment you write an appointment in your calendar, then every other device in your computer has that appointment. Okay, so if you're at the doctor's office and you say, I need an appointment for 6 months for my cleaning, and the dentist gives you an appointment for 6 months and you write it in on your phone calendar, then at home, if you were to check your home at that point, that phone is already transferred the information to the cloud. And then from the cloud, it goes to your computer and it goes to your iPad. So that's why it's important that every single one of your devices be signed in with the same, and I'm backing up, the same Apple ID. Okay, so now I know there's some questions. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to start showing you on your other devices how to find and see if that your Apple ID is there and how much space is used up in those devices with your iCloud stuff. First, let me get some questions. Yes, Bob?
Oh, I didn't have a question. I better take my
Oh,
hand.
your hand is still up. Sorry. Yeah, I'll lower it. Otherwise, if you lower it, I'll put it again. Rebecca?
I have 25,000 messages that aren't on my computer, but they are on my phone and my iPad. If I
Mhm.
sync them to the computer, that won't take up any more room, right?
No, it's the iCloud space. So yeah, in a way, many of you have the situation. Most of the stuff is automatically in one place or another, but the computer doesn't automatically let you use the text or the messages app unless you specifically set it up, because your computer needs to be told what your phone number is because it doesn't know. So it's part of the iCloud, but it also has to do with your service. So if you're AT&T or Sprint or whatever, your computer needs to be told what phone to use, and then all the messages can be in your computer, and then you can actually text from your computer and make phone calls from your computer. And the same with but the iPad allows you to text as well, but you can't make phone calls from the iPad. So unless you have a phone line to the iPad. So it's a bit of a different situation, but your computer needs to be set up in order to do messages. So if you're all like, really, I can text from my computer? Well, yeah, that's one of the things that is possible. I'm going to show you that for now. So yeah, great question, Rebecca. Heidi?
I just have a quick question because I noticed when we went into the iCloud on my iPhone, I have like 5.9 gigabytes. And then when I looked at it, like showed us, I have things that are on my desktop on my Mac, even though I cleared most everything. And then I also have some downloads that like are on my Mac, like a video.
Yeah, so
And I guess I can't close that out because then I will lose it, right, on the Mac?
yeah, so that's a lot of what we talked about last class in Mac Level 1. When you have connected your computer's desktop and document folders to your iCloud, then yes, you can go now, and I'm not going to reteach the last class. By the way, the recordings are there in the handouts if you do want to view them, but I'd recommend just taking the class in the future. But yes, if you go to your Files app in your phone, and I'm not going to ask you guys to do this now. I'm just really, because Heidi was in my other class, so I'm just giving, oh no, or are you in the iLife class? Which one are you in?
Well, I'm actually in both of them, and I was at the last Mac class too.
Okay. All
I
right.
must have
So
missed
in
it.
your iPhone, if you go to the files, you can get to all the files that are on your computer. If you go over here to the iCloud Drive, you'll discover that this is the stuff you have on your desktop. It's like, oh, really? I didn't know. What's on my
Oh, yeah.
computer desktop is this stuff. And what's in my computer documents folder is this stuff. This is exactly what's in my computer documents folder. This is what I was just teaching. And if
Okay.
you delete it, the thing is, and there's only one difference, that if you have a downloads, you mentioned the downloads here, this downloads is only your phone's downloads. And that means that you downloaded something from your phone. So the only folder that isn't shared is a downloads, where if you download something on your phone, it downloads to this file, which is not your computer, and vice versa. I'm going to now share,
Okay.
and this is just a mini review of Mac Level 1. Okay, so anyone who's confused or wants to know about this, this is my downloads in my desktop. So this document, this is my computer now. This documents here is what you just saw on my phone. This desktop here is what you saw on my phone. But the downloads, this is only on my computer. It is not on my phone. So this is a computer downloads, and the one on the phone was the iPhone download. So that's the only one that doesn't get shared. But the documents and the desktop are the same. So if you have something here on your desktop that you have on your phone, and you are sharing it with your computer, and you delete it from here, you would effectively delete it from your computer and your phone and your iPad. It wouldn't be anywhere anymore because it shows up everywhere, but it is one thing. It's like it's being broadcast to 3 devices, but it is one thing. If I delete this here on my computer, it gets deleted from my phone and from my iPad. If I delete it from my phone, it gets deleted from my computer and from my iPad. If I delete it from my iPad, it gets deleted from my phone and my computer. Got it? It is one space. It is one item broadcast, if you want, to all of your devices, but you delete it from anywhere you delete it, it's gone. It's gone from all of them. Okay. So
you.
that was like a 2-sentence review of the whole file management organization and all that we did in file number 1, in Mac level 1. But yeah, if you delete anything that's in the downloads of your phone, that's only on your phone. Okay, because that's the one video that you showed. But if you delete anything that's on your desktop or documents, that deletes from everywhere.
Thank you.
Okay. I think one more question, Catherine.
Just wondering, I understand, I don't have downloads showing up on my phone, but
That might mean that you don't have any downloads. You've never downloaded
I
anything
know
from
I
your phone.
tons of stuff from my phone.
Well, then I'll show you again how to get to it.
I mean,
Hold on, I need to share my screen first. It takes a second. Here we go. All right. So on your phone, and again, this is leftover questions that really, I'm not going to spend too much more time, I have too much more to teach you this class, but just
Right.
really quickly, because then people who haven't taken the other class might want to go, oh, what's this all about? On your phone, there's a file, there's an app called Files. So if you don't see it easily and you don't know where it is, go down to the search feature right there and write the word Files. And when you write F-I-L already, it would pop up. And when you click on that, and by the way, same with the iPad. And when you click on that, then over here, you might be here, wherever you are here, you need to click on the bottom right to browse to come back here, because you might be in some other place. So wherever you are, go to on the bottom, you'll see browse, click on that, and everyone will be brought back here. And this is the downloads folder that you're looking on. This is just stuff that you download on your phone.
Okay, I just was looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, so there, so now you found them. Okay, good.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are wondering, the iCloud Drive is where you will find your desktop and your documents and your downloads and stuff like that. Okay, and these, yes, go ahead and look at your computer, go to your desktop and look at your desktop on your computer and look at your phone, and whatever you have here is what you should be seeing on the computer desktop of your desktop. And if you cleaned out your desktop because you took my last class and don't have anything, then because I told you not to have anything on your desktop, then you go to the downloads, to the documents. And if you go to the documents folder on your computer, you should have this stuff. So yeah, that's the power of the drive.
It isn't, but
what?
it isn't there. The things that are showing downloaded on my phone are not in.
Exactly. Only, as I said, desktop and documents are on your computer or on your phone. This downloads is individual to
Okay,
your phone.
all right.
So
Thank-
if this is in your downloads in your phone, it will not be on your downloads on your computer. The downloads is device independent. Okay.
Okay,
So so right now in my downloads, I only have one thing in my phone. Okay. In my phone. When I go to my own computer and I open my window, then the downloads here is only on my computer, and I have a ton of stuff versus on my phone, I had one thing. Okay. But in the iCloud is my document and my desktop. So these are the two things that were identical. Okay. Desktop and documents, because see how here it says iCloud versus my downloads is not on the iCloud. And that's enough of that explanation in the sense that I can spend hours more talking about this, and I do in Mac level 1. I just wanted everyone to have an idea of what the how the iCloud connects your things. But now the apps that we're going to be talking about are the communication, so to say, apps. I'm going to share my screen now of my computer, because I want to show you now how to find all of this information that we just did on your phone, the Apple ID and the settings and what apps are on the cloud and all of that. I want to show you on my computer. But there's a thing here about the computer, which is most of you by now have switched to Ventura or Sonoma, and some of you have not. So when you are in your computer now, everyone go to your computer and go to the very top left icon, and way over here. Oh, red is not showing very well. So up there, way over there, top left Apple. And that when you click on it, right there, will, there's an About This Mac. So I want everyone to go to About This Mac. And at this point, you should see something like this or something very different. If you see something like this, then you should, down here at the bottom, it might be hard to see, but and I'm going to share it in just that little window so it's easier to read. Down here, it should say Mac OS, it should say either Ventura or Sonoma. If you see something completely different, it's because you are in either Monterey or older. Ventura or Sonoma are the two latest ones. Coming up in a few months, in September-ish, the newer one is going to call Sequoia. So Ventura, Sonoma, and Sequoia is the one that's coming soon. These three share the look and feel of the phone, right? So the settings that I have here, and now I'm going to stop this share. The settings that I have here, and I'm going to share my entire screen again. So if this is what it looked like, and yours is like, yeah, I see it says Ventura Sonoma, then you should be able to open your settings, and your system settings, if you find them or not, look very similar to what we just saw on the phone. So if I go to SBCC Business, this looks very similar to what I just saw on the phone, only instead of the sidebar stays, and over here, this is what my phone had. And if I go here to iCloud, this is exactly what my phone had. So it looks pretty much identical. Here's the apps, here's the account storage, here's the apps that are using my phone. This is identical. I'm going to stop for a second before I continue to show you what I mean, and then we'll delve deeply into the settings. I want to show you what it's like if you do not have a Ventura or Sonoma, because half of you, or it used to be half, now it's probably less than half. Then I'm going to share this computer screen right now. And this is my Monterey screen. And if I go over here to the very top, Apple, and I say About This Mac, same as before, Apple About This Mac, this is what I mean by it looking totally different. It should say here macOS Monterey or Catalina or Big Sur or High Sierra. It's the older operating systems. And if that's what you are seeing, then you have a very different system preferences access to the iCloud. So if this is what you're seeing, give me a no. And if what you're seeing is the Ventura or Sonoma, give me a yes. Okay, so I now need everyone to see yes for Ventura Sonoma. No, if you have Monterey, High Sierra, Catalina, Big Sur, and I can keep on naming them. Anything that is neither Monterey nor Ventura needs to say no. Okay, and it for a long time, it was like a ton of people still had Monterey, and then one or two people had Sonoma. Then it kind of equalized, and now we're kind of at the place where, as you can see, most of you guys are saying yes to Ventura or Sonoma. Barbara, you're still saying that you have Monterey, but usually I have more people who have Monterey. Maybe you've slowly been moving up, not slowly, quickly been moving up. All right, so in this case, I only have one person who's in Monterey. I always need to know per class because different classes are, and my iPhone, in my iLife class, I have like 5 people still on Monterey. And what's different is that these operating systems are older, so some things operate differently. The most different one is the system settings and preferences, like About This Mac. So if you want to see that in the system preferences in Monterey and down does not look at all like the phone. Okay, it looks very different. This, though, from now, because now I'm going to take everyone to the system settings on the computer. So Barbara, you need to go over here to the top. That's your Apple ID, and it even says Apple ID. Click on Apple ID, and this is what you're going to see right now. You might be under overview. Click on iCloud down there. And this is your equivalent to what I'm going to be showing. And so in the iCloud, it basically this that was in the top before now is in the bottom, but it's the same thing. It shows you your iCloud storage. And over here, it shows you, if you scroll up and down, these are all the apps that exist in your iCloud. And so in this case, you can see that it says, again, Photos, iCloud Drive, which has inside of that has the options for documents, folders, iCloud Mail, contacts, calendars, reminders, notes. These are, in fact, the things that we're going to be focusing this class on, okay? The contact, the calendars, the notes, the mail, Safari. These are exactly the things that we're going to be
What did
talking
you
about.
click to get to that one?
Okay, I went to Apple ID,
Okay,
and then depending on if you might be in something else, you need to click on the word iCloud right there. And then that's where you'll be. And from here, we're going to now talk about, I'm going to stop this share because now I'm going to share from the other computer, because the other computer is the one that 99% of the people in this class have, which is the Sonoma. So now everyone in your computer, please open your system preferences. And if you don't know how to open your system preferences, let me know. But if you have opened them, then here we go. These are your system preferences on Ventura or Sonoma, which everyone should be in other than Barbara. So I'm going to clean your answers. And basically, if you did not get here, if you don't know how to get to the system preferences, if you need help with this, let me know. Other than that, I'm going to continue with the system preferences. So here we go. This is the system preferences, and that is the access to my iCloud account. It even says here Apple ID. Okay. And then once I click on that, down here, you see the word iCloud. And this is the family sharing that we saw on the phone. Here, I'm going to just click on iCloud. And here's how much space I have in the iCloud. So this is an absolute repetition of what I just showed you in my phone. Here's the account storage. Remember that it was like before, like these are the ones that have how much space am I using. So if in here it tells me my iCloud is having 6 gigabytes, my iCloud, my backup, it's the same as I saw on my phone. And why is it the same? Because I am looking at the iCloud, which is shared exactly the same. You have other stuff on this computer, I get it, but the iCloud that you see here is identical to the iCloud that you saw on your phone. Now, you might have certain features turned on and off. So why did I do that? I went here to show more apps. And now these are all the apps on your phone and your computer that are shared through the iCloud. Okay. Again, I have Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, Bridge. I have a ton of other stuff on my computer, Word, Office. None of that shows up here. These are just the apps that use the iCloud, including the messages. This is the text, the notes, the contacts, the calendar, the reminder, Safari. This is going to be what we're going to focus this class on. There's quite a few other things here there's mail. There's a few other things here that have to do with the apps. Maps, I'm going to show you something about maps. This is what this class is going to focus on, though we're not going to cover every single one at all, just the most important ones. All right, if everyone has been able to see everything I've been showing you, please give me a yes. If something that I've shown you here, you've like no idea where I'm at, how to get to, you need help, you're here, but you have a question because yours looks different, anything other than exactly what I've shown you, then give me a no or raise your hand. Okay. And what I don't have connected, I'm seeing yeses everywhere, but not everywhere. I see some people who haven't answered yet. So remember that you need to answer. So Bob, you haven't answered. And let me see. Some of you, if I ever call your name and you have two connections, it's because I'm looking at the top. Like Lori right now, I don't see yes, but I know she has 2 connections. So then I see the yes underneath. But now and then I might get confused and I might just go up and say, oh, Lori, and she'll be like, I answered. And it's because it's the one underneath. Just now and then that'll happen. But other than that, I pretty much know who has 2 and I can see that everyone has answered. All right. Cool. I don't have, let me see. I don't know if I can right now connect. I don't have a cable. Actually, here, let me. Nope, that won't work. I don't have a cable set up because I just found my iPad earlier today. And let me see if I can share my iPad, which I haven't had to do in a while. So hold on. Screen mirroring. I've been telling a lot of people I haven't been sharing my iPad because it's the same, but here's the thing, this iPad is not set up. Yeah. Okay, it's not showing up. Oh, I need to restart my device, so I won't do it. Okay, I'm gonna stop my share on my computer. It's my iPad saying I need to restart it, so I will, but I won't share it right now. But what I was trying to show you really about the iPad is that it is exactly the same as the settings are exactly the same on your computer as they are on. So here are my computer settings. And the iPad settings on the computer and the iPad are the same, which is basically, in the iPhone, they're the same, except for that there's no space to keep the sidebar. So when you click on Apple ID, you go into and you go into the cloud, you only see the cloud because this disappears because there's no space. And then when in here you click on, say, account storage manage, it instead of a pad popping up, it just switches to that page and it shows you this. So it just operates a little bit differently, but the visual of your iPhone and your iPad are exactly the same. Just there's less space. Okay. So it's okay if I don't share my iPhone, because what I need you to do, if you have an iPad, I need you now on your iPad to go to your iClouds and to your settings and to your I'm looking at my iPad cloud. That's the one that has, in fact, my real, when I say my real. Okay, I'm going to try to reset my iPad so that I can show it to you, because that's my actual personal account, not my real account. And that's where you see that I have 600 gigabytes of 2 terabytes used, because that's the one that my family is using and stuff like that. And I have 450 gigabytes worth of photos in that one, for example. Anyway, all right. So now that we have discovered all of this, and everyone has, many times during this part of the conversation, people discover they have a different Apple ID on a different device, and one device has one device has another. If you have devices with different Apple IDs, and if you've checked now, your phone, your computer, and your iPad, for those of you who have all three, if you have that, then, and by the way, some of you might have other Apple devices. I don't know, I don't know what else you can have, what is it, the goggles that let you say 3D. I mean, there's other stuff. If you have any of those, doesn't matter what else you have, they have to have settings and they have to have the same Apple ID. Okay. Because then you can check on your calendar appointments in those goggles. I mean, whatever, doesn't matter, or on your phone, you can check your calendar appointments on your smartphone, and you'll do that again through the settings. Okay. So whatever device you have, what we're going to do now is start working with those apps. Okay, so I'm going to close the settings, I'm going to close the backs, I'm going to close all that, and we're going to start working with those apps. I have let me see a show of hands. Let me see a show of hands. And normally I have a set of things that I know I'm going to teach you, right? But I'm going to put here on the thing, and there's not that many of us. This is a relatively small class today. So I'm going to tell you guys that the most important things I'm going to focus are mail. Oh, this is the other computer. Hold on. Mail, calendar, contacts, Ah, sorry, that was a typo. Contacts. Mail calendar contacts. Safari. Notes, maps, reminders. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. But the very top three, mail, calendar, and contacts is what we're gonna start with. So I want you guys to vote. So go down to the chat and in order of what you're interested most, go ahead and write. For example, you're more interested in contacts, then in maps, then in mail, or so write contacts, maps, mail, or write mail, contacts, maps, or something like that. Give me a bit of an idea of the top three of these things that I mentioned that you want to learn how to use. And some of you guys are like, why would I need that? I don't need that. I already use the one that I have. And if you're not using the Apple one, right? So maybe you're using the Google contacts or something like that, Gmail contacts. I'm just going to teach you how to do that, but I want to see some kind of an idea of what things that you're interested in most. I will still teach them all, but I'm just kind of interested in seeing what you guys happen to think that you know less of. Because what happens is a lot of people already use one and they're fine. They don't need to know about it, but they don't know one that's a little bit less used, or the other way around. You're like, I use Gmail. I don't use Apple Mail. So why do I need Apple Mail? If that's you, then write mail, because I'll explain to you the differences. I'm not expecting anyone to change their email address when I say this, by the way, at all. I'm just there's an app on the computer that lets you see your Gmail. And that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So let me see contacts. Contacts seems to appear a bit at the front, quite a bit. Calendar, Safari, reminders, notes, contacts, calendar. All right, so normally I hear lots of people wanting to deal with
Later, when you take a break,
yeah.
show me how to, I just switched from one computer to the, I have a desktop. So anyway, I don't know how to keep them both on my Zoom.
Oh, what do you mean? How to keep them both on?
My computers, it makes me switch from one to the other. It doesn't let me keep my laptop on Zoom, but that's later. Sorry.
Your computer and your laptop, you can only do one at a time? No, it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm just,
Yeah, it won't let me have both on Zoom.
so you have a desktop and you have a laptop,
Right.
and they're two completely distinct connections. So I have no idea why you wouldn't be able to keep on. Okay, we'll talk later, but I don't know why they're different devices. So each one has their own Zoom. So you should be able to connect on both separately, but whatever. Right now, it doesn't matter. For now, I'm seeing, okay, great. Thanks for answering. I'm reading your answers. So contacts, Safari, mail, calendar, mail, contacts, notes. Okay, so basically, let's head back. I said that I told you to close your apps, but I was wrong. To close your system preference, but I was wrong. Let's head over to the system preferences again, and I'm going to start this time with your computer. So we're going to start with the one main thing that all of these accounts have, which is what all of these apps have. Mail, calendar, contacts, everything you guys wrote, all depend on one thing, which is, so if you were all here, if you had, I left you inside of the iCloud, if you were in here, head back over here, and then we're going to scroll down, because now is the time to connect your computer. So not the cloud. The cloud has the connections. Everything is in the same cloud, but everything below these two choices has to do with your computer. So cloud and family, this was all about the cloud. As of here down, it's about your computer. How does your computer connect to Wi-Fi? How does your computer have Bluetooth? How does the computer do notifications and sound? Like all this stuff, right? This is a lot of the stuff that I talk about in Intro to the Mac, by the way. Right now, I'm gonna general, all of that. Right now, I'm gonna keep scrolling down, 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 until I get way down to the word passwords. Sorry, right underneath, internet accounts. Internet accounts, right? Under passwords, I meant to say, internet accounts. And this is the key to all those apps that we just talked about above before. Internet accounts is where you connect any account that you have to your computer. What I mean by that, if you have your iCloud account is there because it's already connected, right? That's your Apple ID. But if you have a connection to, if you have an email address, that's a Gmail. If you have an email address, that's AOL. If you have a Yahoo, if you have Outlook, if you have whatever other account that you have that you use for email or for anything else, it needs to go in here. I'm gonna stop for a second and I'm gonna show you on the phone the same thing. And then by default, those of you who have iPads should go check on your iPad. So now on my settings on my phone, I had, if you were back still in the cloud and all of that, if you were still kind of in there, and when you open it up, you're still in there, then we're going to back out, Apple ID. And again, this is all about the cloud, which is what everyone has on all devices. But then as soon as we start down here, this is about this phone. Is this phone going to be set on airplane mode? Is this phone going to be using a certain Wi-Fi? Is this phone connected to Bluetooth, et cetera, et cetera? Got it? And then as I screen down and scroll down and scroll down and scroll down, same choices that we just saw way down here. And this time under passwords, it doesn't say internet accounts. It says mail, contacts, calendar, notes, reminders. It says that. So instead of saying internet accounts, it gives you one by one the description of the apps that are going to use your internet accounts. So in this case, all you need to go is click into mail. And then in mail, there's the word accounts. It's a little bit more hidden than in the computer. And when you click on accounts, it should have in here the same thing. It should have the iCloud is already connected. It should have, if you have Gmail, Yahoo's, if you have AOL's, if you have calendars and stuff. So I know that I'm saying it should be there. If you don't have it there right now, I'm going to walk you through how to do this, okay? But before I can walk you how to do this, I need to show you how not to worry if you do get rid of them, because I am going to get rid of these accounts that I have in here. And the reason I'm going to do that, I don't want you to get rid of yours. Did you hear me? Don't get rid of yours. If you already have your 5 accounts here because you've taken this or some other class before, don't get rid of them. But a lot of people are like, well, I'm not sure that I want to connect my pipeline to my phone or stuff like that, right? And they might have all concerns. I don't know. Do I really need to put my Gmail in here? So I'm going to show you how easy it is. If this is a concern, and I'll show you the good stuff. So during this class, for the next 3 weeks, I need you to have it all connected. And if at any point you go, nah, I don't really want that, it's as easy as I'm going to go into it and I'm going to just delete. And listen, I'm not deleting my pipeline email. I'm just deleting it from my phone, okay? So my pipeline account still exists, right? I'm just deleting it from my phone. Got it? Then after it's done deleting, it's going to delete. I'm going to go back to my accounts. Oh, it's not going to do it until it deletes. I'm sharing my screen, so it's even slower. So give it a second. Okay, I think I need to stop my share or it won't stop. I'm going to stop my share. It'll never delete otherwise. It needs to, when you share your screen, things get really slow. So I don't want you to delete any of the accounts. I just want you guys to see that other than the fact that my phone is taking a long time to do it, it is a really quick process to connect and disconnect. So on my computer already, I've did the same steps. And if you can see now under internet accounts, now I have only my iCloud that just connects automatically. The rest, I still need to add. Okay. So now my phone already gave me the warning that it's time to give you guys a break. So let me see what time it is. I always need to get a, yeah, it's time for a break. So we're going to do the connecting of the accounts when we come back from the break. I'm going to go ahead and let me see, what time is it? 10:35. So guys, we're going to take 15-minute break, and I'm trying to figure this out because I'm always bad. So that would be 40 and 50. So be back at 10:50 a.m. Oh, be back got written wrong, but never mind. You get it. And be back at that time. Okay. So my highest recommendation for you Mac users is to use your phone's Siri and to tell your Siri that you need to be reminded in 12 minutes. So you have 3 minutes left to come back. So that's what I always do. I'll go, hey Siri. My phone's going to respond. Set timer for 12
Sorry,
minutes.
I don't understand.
Yeah, because I talked.
12 minutes, counting down.
12 minutes counting down. So in 12 minutes, I'll get an alarm and I'll like, oh, I have 3 minutes to make it back to the computer. Please do that. And I'll see you at 10:50. Okay. See you guys soon. Hello, hello. I'm back. Are you back?
Yes.
It's so weird when I put these on, these are kind of noise canceling and everything goes like dead. And until someone says something, I don't know that there's anyone there because it feels it's dampening. It's kind of weird. I'm not accustomed to them. That said,
I'm back.
at home they can still hear me, but at least they don't have to have the rest of the class. That's good. Okay. So, oh, thank you, Catherine, for saying that. How interesting. I'll teach you now how to not have it drive you crazy. I don't know if you guys noticed in the chat what she said. And the fact that it drives you crazy is kind of weird, but okay. Because it's not like there's that many anyway. But actually, that's not true.
It
Ever
somehow
since, ever
defaults my
since,
computer to it. I don't know on my iMac, it defaults to that. And I
yeah,
don't.
so you need just to learn how to handle it. And so when I teach you how to do that, I can learn how to handle it.
Yay.
But yes, by that said, you could also not delete it, which is I'm going to show you, but I'll show you. Let's just do that.
Won't need any files from that.
Let's for now, we're going to talk about adding it and being happy with it and how to handle it instead of because then everyone else will get scared. So that's actually the opposite. My request is put it in and I'll show you how to handle it, because if you don't, yeah, you can get, too much of one thing versus the other. So I'm going to share my screen of my computer now. So we're going to start with our computer. And let me really quickly show just Barbara. Barbara, are you back? I'm going to just show Barbara for a second first how to do this, because she is the only one who has this
That's
version.
okay. I went to my other computer and it is a Monterey.
Monterey again. So Monterey is still the old system.
Oh, it is. Shoot.
It's a last one.
Okay.
From Monterey is the last one that looks like this, and then Ventura looks like Ventura or Sonoma. So that looks like the phones. Basically, over the years, they've been people are getting Apple phones, and that's why they move into Mac computers and stuff like that. And then, so the computers were different from the phones, and so they've been equalizing them more and more and more. But the last thing to equalize was the preferences. And so this is the preferences for you. And Barbara, you're going to go over here to the word internet accounts right there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Click on internet accounts. Once you're here, this will look exactly the same. Okay. So for everyone else, I'm going to show it to you in the system settings of Sonoma. And I had left you here under internet accounts, right? So as you can see, this point, I have no other internet accounts but the one that comes, which is the cloud. And so I'm going to add an account. And if you guys already have all your accounts here, then we're going to do it on the phone. And let me just show you really quickly, just so that people who already have these here can set them up on the phone. I'm going to just show you this on the phone. And that way everyone can be doing. And if you finish your mail, the ones on your computer, then move on to your phone. And if you finish your phone, move on to your iPad. What we want is to have. So I had shown you, you go all the way down to the word mail and you click on mail and then accounts. And when you go to accounts, now I have only the iCloud. So here's where I go to add account. Okay. So in the phone, it's going to look like this. On the computer, and now I'm going to go to the computer because I'm going to start with the computer. So everyone, wherever you don't have your accounts, go add them. On the computer, I'm going to go to add account right there. And as you can see, it looks the same. Okay, so no matter where you do it, even on Monterey, once you get into internet accounts, it looks the same. So let's all start with our pipeline account, but you might have other Gmail accounts. You might have Yahoo's, AOL. If you don't have one of these, then add another account. Like if you have a Cox account, you would have to go down to add another account, for example. Okay. If you have, say, ucsb.edu, because you work there, then you would go to other accounts. Okay. For Pipeline it's a Gmail account actually. So for Pipeline, we're going to go to Google. So everyone go to Google. And it lets you know that it's going to need to do this in a browser. Oh, that's true. I need to share my entire screen for that. So it's going to go ahead and say open. So any Google account that you do, any Gmail account that you do, you're going to have to open your browser, and it's going to ask you to sign in to, and this is the Pipeline account, right? So it's going to sign into your school Pipeline email. And that's, in this case, it's your username. Okay. At pipeline.sbcc.edu. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat so you can all, so your username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. And I just put it in the chat so that if you need to, you'll see how to write it. Once you have done that, let me clean your answers because I'm going to have like some feedback from you guys to make sure it's done. Some of you are not doing it because you already have it. So I need to see the ones who are still doing it to give me a yes. Then you say next. And yes, yes to Catherine. And then over here, you'll enter your username only, not the whole pipeline, just your username. Okay. And then your password, your pipeline username and password. And then you'll log in. In my case, I have a multi-factor authentication set up, which I need to go put in a little number here, 5687889. And you guys, for those of you who are wondering what multi-factor authentication is, it's just not just a password, but one more step where they sent me a text to my phone, a code, and I put it in here, and then that shows them that it truly is me. Oh, did I type that in wrong? 558. Okay. 558789. Okay. And then when it says this will allow your Mac OS, your computer, a lot of people get scared about that. This will allow your computer, your Mac OS, to access your email, your Gmail pipeline account. Are you sure? Make sure you track your Mac OS. This is just a security thing. I'm like, yep, it's fine, good, allow. Some people stop right there and they say don't allow. It's like, yeah, you're telling your Mac to access your pipeline account. And then it'll says, select the apps you want to use with this account. Leave everything on. This is where you'll handle it. Okay, later I'll show you. This is the Catherine's question. You'll handle it from here. So for now, just say yes. Don't change anything and just say done. And now my school pipeline is set up. Okay, I'm going to back out. And then I can add another account. So Catherine just asked if I have 2 separate Google Business Works accounts. Yes, this is where you add them all. So now you're going to add another one. If you had another Gmail, if you have another Yahoo, if you add another whatever, even if you don't use it much, because I'm going to show you how to handle them so that it's okay. And if you use them but not much, please put them in here anyway. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in, I have another, instead of a Gmail, I have a Yahoo account. So I'm going to put in that one. This is because I don't use this computer ever for this. So it has some security, which is good. People are asking you. So resolve now. Oh, they need us to set up a 2-step verification even for this now. Every single account is asking you for this. This is the same thing I just did in the SBCC. Every account in the world is now asking you to do this because passwords are easy to break. This is not so easy to break. So let me stop my share because I'm going to put in my personal phone number here and I don't necessarily want to share that. So I'm gonna put my phone number in here. And now I'm getting sent a text. Here it is. 6, 8, 2, 1, 5. I should put on my reading glasses. 6, 8, 2, 1, 5, 9. This is my computer glasses, which are different. Okay. Okay. I'm just following through with what we need to do to set this up. And for some reason it's not. Oh. Okay. I need to work on that one. Shoot, I always want to be able to share. I wish I hadn't deleted it because that's an important one to be able to share is my Yahoo one, but never mind. I'm gonna let it see if it resolves. I'm gonna add another Google account that I have, which is my Gmail. So this is if you have, let me share, if you have another Gmail account, another Google account, so here, this is the crux of the matter. You need to know the passwords to your other email accounts, and your computer remembers them. So by you not remembering them, you won't be able to do this. So you might go, oh, well, then I don't need to do this. It doesn't matter. But let me explain why it does matter. It does matter because the only reason you have access to all your accounts is because your computer remembers them. And if you don't know the passwords that you have set up, then what happens is that I'm going to stop my share so that you guys can start asking me questions. Then your what's happening is that then your phone, say that you have worst case scenario, a fire comes through and you have to run out of your house and you don't have your phone nor your computer with you. Say that that happens and you were counting on your computers to your phone or your computers to remember your passwords. Then when you try to access them through a friend's computer, to buy a new computer, to set them up, the only way to know that you are you is to give them your password, guys. So passwords are important. I'm not going to say that a lot of people just never know their passwords anymore and they just rely on their computers, which is not a bad idea until someone steals your computer and then you didn't remember that your phone didn't have the password, or the other way around. Your phone had the password, you lose your password, and your computer didn't have the password. So whichever way, most of the times it's POP. By the way, I'm answering Catherine. Anyway, you need to know your passwords. And if you don't, you need to reset your password. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But for now, yeah, more questions. Rebecca?
I'm able to add it. What I'm confused about, my Gmail, I receive mails, but I can't respond.
Huh.
Yeah, and
that's a
they keep saying I need to put in my password, and I'm like, well,
Oh.
didn't you use the password to get the mail?
Yeah, you had that issue last time, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I don't have that issue. It's only on the desktop. It works on the iPads, it works on my phone.
Yeah, we talked about you having to reset your password, but you didn't, right? You need to reset your password, but you have to do that. because your computer doesn't know your password. Your phone did know it, but your computer doesn't. So you need to know it. And if you don't know it, your computer assumes that you're someone else trying to break in. So it
No,
doesn't
but
let you
I
in.
do the password that I've got on my phone and my iPads. And
Okay, and did you do the whole keychain things to make sure that it is the password that you have?
how do I do that?
Okay.
Are we going to discuss that later or?
Passwords is a hard one because I record these classes. So no, I would have to stop the recording at the end of class, and then I can help you with that because I don't want that to be recorded. Okay.
Okay,
But also,
so it's in the
Um,
keychain.
yeah, so here's the thing. There's something on your phone and your computers called the keychain that remembers your passwords. But in
Mhm.
order to get into it, you need a password, and then it shows you the passwords that you have remembered in your computer and in your phones. And what you need to go is see, because at some point you might have changed it. You might have added an exclamation point to the end of it or something because it told you you need to change your password and you don't know that and you don't remember that. And then it's not, when it asks you to put it in, you think it's the right one, but that's an old one. The new one, you don't remember. Your phone remembers, but not your computer. Does that make sense? So whenever you
Is
change a
that under-
password, you need to change them all the way around. What's that?
Is that under passwords or somewhere else?
Yeah, under passwords. But anyway, let me, yes, I saw Catherine doing the whole celebration thing. So, yeah, what's up?
Asking me my question.
Yeah,
My question is, I got it to work and I realized, it's different on the iPad. So it asked me my host name, my username, and I'm assuming if it worked in my computer, I can enter the same stuff, although the screen looks very different than, I think
you know what? Hold on 1 second. I'm paying attention to that. I got the verification code for Yahoo and I wasn't listening. So give me 1 second because I didn't really hear what you said. Because I'm not getting the fresh one. Give me a second. I'm gonna wait for it to send me the new one. 458317 next. Okay, sorry. I was setting up the Yahoo that it was sending me the two-step verification and I was doing that. So completely need to restart your question because normally I can do things at the same time, but this time I couldn't. So Catherine, what was that?
Okay, the screen I added on my laptop. I'm trying to add it to my iPad. And I thought I was doing the same thing, but the screen looks different. It says cannot connect using SSL. Do you want to try setting up account without an SSL?
So which is it a Gmail? What is it?
It's a Google Works account
Okay, so
for 2 businesses.
yeah, so the thing is, because I saw you say yay, so I thought you had figured
I
something
did
out.
on my computer. It was no problem. It didn't give me this warning. It just hooked it up and it was there. On my iPad, I thought I was doing the same thing, but it didn't work. But maybe it looks different, like it has the username, the email, the description, and then maybe because I put the username differently, I don't know what's
It's
wrong.
usually what happens is that there's like one little typo, one extra space, one extra period, one extra
Okay,
something.
I'll check that out.
Check on out and try it again. Like completely, don't like fix it, just say cancel whatever and start it over and just type it in all very carefully
Okay,
and hopefully it'll
great.
work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your help.
Okay, so here's the thing. I need to disconnect my mouse from this computer. Give me a second. I'm needing to use my mouse on my other computer. So I'm gonna turn the Bluetooth off there for a second and I'm gonna connect it to here. I have a mouse connected to my other computer and I want to send it to this one so that it allows me to to sign into Yahoo, which I didn't have the mouse set up on this one. Okay. But it's not set up. I have okay. It says it's connected, but it's not working. I have a new setup that I just did this weekend with my computer and my stuff, and I'm noticing that not everything is working. I'm having an issue with both computers now with my mouse. Okay, I'm gonna give up on the mouse. Give me a second, I'm gonna connect another mouse that I have. Having all these different. I'm actually have an old mouse by cable. When everything else fails, you can always use a cabled mouse, which hasn't been used in a while, but it's working. Okay, so okay, so I'm listening. I know that I'm still trying to connect, but I'm listening. So, but I'll answer. I think I can answer most questions while I get this going. Yes. So who else is next? Janaki. What's up? Are you talking? I can't hear you. Oh, hold
Unmute.
on.
Okay.
Oh,
So
there we go.
I had the same question, and maybe I was trying to do it while you were answering, but I was able to set up my pipeline account on my desktop, and I went to my phone to set it up, and I'm on the new account screen, and it says IMAP or POP. Which do I choose?
For the most part, it tends to be POP.
POP, okay.
Worst case scenario, if it's not, and this is important, 110185, hold on. 110, hold on. This is when I have to stop paying it. 110185. That's just the part that I had to pay attention to, because when they send me a code and I have to type it in, I need to hear it. Okay, so now I'm you. If perchance it's not a POP, and if it doesn't work when you say POP, then you can always say it's an AOL or whatever. You can check in, and they have always you can do a Google and say, for AOL, is my email, is it a POP or an IMAP? And you can Google that and it'll tell you. And worst case scenario, you can check into your account. So if it doesn't work, then you can choose the other one. But for the most part, usually people's problem is the password, not the POP or map. Usually they're POPs.
Okay, then next it was the host name and username. What is the host name?
What account are you trying to put in? What brand is
The
it?
pipeline, the pipeline into my iPhone.
Oh, your pipeline. No. Definitely it shouldn't be asking you those questions. So back out, say cancel.
Cancel?
Pipeline is automatic. It shouldn't be going there. Maybe you said add account instead of clicking on Google.
Oh, yes, that's what I did.
That's why, yeah. Because then it knows automatically. It's only for when it's like a Cox or something else like that you need to use. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about, you guys. So I want you guys by now should have like working on your phone and in your iPads and in your everything to put in all your accounts. Oh, I wanted to share my phone. So if you're in here in your phone, okay, and you say other, then it's going to look into something that's not a Google, and Pipeline is a Google account.
Got it.
Yeah. So click on Google, and now I'm doing this one here, and then you're going to write Musacchio at the whole thing .sbcc.edu, and by now I'm assuming everyone who has issues or questions is asking them, right? You're not sitting there going, I'll not do it this time. Because then you won't be able to learn the good and the bad and how to handle the differences. So I'm definitely hoping that you'll do this and that you won't be like sitting it out, because then we'll spend another 10 minutes helping you catch up later when you have to do it anyway. 736, because for this class, hold on, I'm putting in the code. For this class, allow, for this class, this conversation that I'm going to have right here, I'm going to turn this on, mail, contacts, calendars, and notes. I am going to have you guys use the Pipeline account because I don't want to stop the recording and I don't want to necessarily have everyone be doing everything with their personal email. So we're going to be using the Pipeline account as a way to communicate and learn how to do these things during this class. So for the next 3 weeks, you need to have your Pipeline account connected so that we can practice and that when we share, we're not sharing personal information. Does that make sense? So even for those who have a hesitation, please do so. Yes, Janaki?
Yes, so can I have right now under my Gmail, under Google, I have my Gmail account, my personal Gmail account. How do can I have two?
Yes, you can have two, you can have three. A lot of people have 2, 3, 4 email addresses. And so you put each one each time. And I'm going to now, when we're done with this, show you how to distinguish them. But for now, do the whole same.
I don't see anything that says add. That's why I'm having a.
Add account on your phone, are you saying, or on your?
Yeah, on my phone.
Okay, so let me share my screen. On your phone, it says, I need to share my screen before you can show you what it says. Here it goes. So in your phone, you would have been here under mail, right? Accounts. So when you're in accounts, there it says add account.
Oh, add account. I was clicking. Okay, then I go to Google.
And then you go again to Google.
Okay.
And now you add your next Google
account. Got it. Okay, I'm there.
Okay,
Thank you.
and I'm actually going to add SBCC teacher.
Thank you.
At gmail.com. And then I'll say done. Next. And then it has the password for that one. And then, do you want to allow? Always say yep. And there we go. Now we have, everything should remain turned on for all your accounts. And then I'll show you when how you do or not, and so on and so forth. So now I have SBC teacher, I have Gmail. And guys, this is the step I want to show you next. When you put in your Pipeline, it just says Gmail. Depending on what else you have, instead of having it say Gmail, I want it to say Pipeline. So I'm doing it here in the phone, but I'm going to show you later in the computer. So anyone who has these, you might have 2 or 3 Gmails and they just say Gmail, or it might have your email address like that one. This is the SBC teacher account, but then this one says Gmail, which is a Pipeline. So we're going to click on this arrow and the label, instead of Gmail, I'm going to click in there. And we're going to put in Pipeline or SBCC, whatever you prefer. I'm going to put Pipeline. And I'm going to say dash SBCC. That way you guys know. But to me, I just use Pipeline because I know the name Pipeline, but just say done. So now that one is easy to distinguish. That's my SBCC teacher. This is my Pipeline, right? Right there. And then if you have any other account, I'm going to add my Yahoo. Anyway, meanwhile, I'll still be answering questions while I add my Yahoo to the phone. I already added it to my computer. So if you have an AOL, a Cox, go for it. This is when you should keep adding more. All right. So yes, Catherine.
It still didn't work, but that's okay. I don't care about having it on my iPad. I have it in my computer. But how do I make the password? Because it's saying I don't have, it's saying on the iPad, I've checked everything's correct. I've re-entered it. It's still giving me you don't have an SSL. And then I said, do you want to try doing it through the SSL? And then I said, yeah. And then they were like,
Well, but hold on, maybe at this point I would have to ask you to share because I don't know right now.
it's okay. I don't care as long as it's on my computer. But the other question I had is it, you know how on most things it says show what you're typing? I don't see that on here when I go to add it to my computer and the password is like 20 words long or letters and numbers long. Is there a way to show that on your make it show if you don't have that little box that says show or the little icon?
God, it's so weird because this is the only time I can't really help you too much with passwords. A, because I don't know your password. B, because if you share your screen, we will all know your password. You know what I mean? So-
Can I just share my screen? I'm not typing it in. I just want it to be.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Wait a minute, I'm in Zoom.
In the past, I didn't notice to stop my recording and some people from the passwords. And later when the recording came around, I was like, oh, darn it. How do I, how do
Gotcha.
I delete this piece? And it's so hard to find the
Oh.
moment someone shared their password. So now I just don't.
Here's what I'm sharing.
Okay.
Okay. Here's-
Now,
So how do I make this visible? My password? Do you know when I'm typing it in, it's just coming in?
oh, this is an
That's what
old, what system do you have here? Like
This is Sonoma.
Sonoma.
It's the latest one.
Yeah, so, and go ahead and retype it again. And let me just go back down and make sure there's no extra space in the front. And you've just set this into somewhere else? You just made this password work
Yeah.
somewhere else? Okay, or
Well,
was it or was it remembered?
I was hooking up another business that worked.
All right,
I just-
but is it the same password or was it one that was remembered? Because it could be that you don't know the
I'm
password.
typing it in. It's the password out of my passwords.
Okay,
Right.
all right, then go for it. Because in there, it says account time IMAP. I told you that it's probably a POP.
No, it's not that.
No, but it might be.
Okay, I'll try again.
Try again.
My question is how, when I
Put it in again, because the fact that it was a POP was probably maybe one of the reasons it
why
wasn't
it
letting you in.
wasn't showing?
Yeah, it's not about how to see the password. It was probably saying unable to verify because the POP was wrong. Just put it in and see if at this point that's it.
That was another thing I was doing on my iPad. This is on my computer, but okay, I'll try.
Go ahead
it.
and type it in. No, we won't see it. Don't
No,
worry, type
I
it in.
understand. I'm looking it
But
up.
I want to see what the answer is. Oh, okay, got it. And then is your username Catherine Weisenberg? Usually usernames are shorter.
I don't know.
Are you
because
sure?
I paid somebody to help me set all this up.
All right, because that's the problem, because if the username was like Kathy or Weisenberg or CAW or something like that, then all of these things need to be exactly the same.
No, I'm
okay?
assuming it's the same because he set up both of these business accounts.
Okay, and they're the same.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
I'll stop
good.
staring.
Do that and let's see if that works. And if not, go
Okay.
check in the passwords. Guys, passwords and usernames, when they're not Google or Yahoo, when they're not from that list, then you need to know all this information about them. And it's really important, especially, and what you said just rang a little alarm bell that I don't always say. When someone helps you, and it could be a person you pay to set up a business account, or it could be your grandson. When someone helps you set up anything that has to do with accounts or passwords, you need to have all the information. They just kind of go, there you are, you're set up, grandma or mom or whatever. And then you end up being like not in control of that because you constantly need to prove who you are, especially now that there's security issues and stuff. Even if you didn't change your password, you might get a whole, hey, tell me who you are again. You haven't used this account for, 3 months. I'm not sure you are you. And they're just trying to make sure that no one is hacking into your stuff. So the only way you can respond is by knowing usernames, which is not usually your name. And unless someone set it up that way, you know what I mean? So you need to know all these details and have your information at the tip of your fingers more and more that there's issues. One of the questions that Catherine asked in the chat was something about talk to the safety. What was the question? Can you speak to the security of the passwords on our phones?
Right.
They're just as secure as the ones on your computer. Anything has a certain security, which is if you're on your phone and someone gets into your phone and you didn't put a good old passcode. Some people still don't have passcodes on their phones. You need to put in a passcode. Not only that, but it has to be your face, or it has to be your finger, or whatever you use. It's only you, and you should not share that passcode or that password with anyone, because it truly is important. Say that your kid comes in all the time and knows how to type in your password on your computer. Guess what? They're gonna like make changes that you don't understand how they got made. 100%. I can't tell you how many times I have tears and someone said, my family visited me and I can't get into my computer now, or stuff like that. It's like kids mess things up. And then, or they say, grandma, you don't have this set up well. And they change things and you're like, aha, where am I now? Right. So don't let people handle your computer without having them tell you step by step and write down exactly what has changed. That's just a thing I'm saying. And when you make changes in your password, you might have not noticed that you made the change in one place. Say you were in your computer, you change your password. Unless your cloud has a connection with a keychain to your phone, then the next time your phone wants a password, you won't remember what you put in your computer. The best thing is to have the cloud connect all the things. And so then if you write it in your computer, the password is remembered on your phone. And if you write it on your phone, your password is remembered on your iPad. But if not, you have to enter it each time. And then you need to make sure that each time you entered it, it's identical. And if you never connected your iPad and then, 3 years later, you connect your iPad to it, and 3 years earlier, you put in a password in the phone and you don't remember it, then guess what? On that system, you won't be able to access that, right? So you need to enter it at the same time everywhere, or have your, let me share my screen.
I got it to work. And the
Yeah.
username appears in the passwords where you above your password.
Exactly.
It's
So
your username.
yeah, so I can't show it to you right now here on the screen. There's a thing called the keychain. And again, I can't show it to you for the simple reason that it has private information. But over here, there's something that gets shared all across, and it's not showing it to me now on this computer. And the other computer was showing it to me on the Monterey. It used to say keychain here. Monterey still says keychain. Here it doesn't say it. But the keychain is the app inside of your computer that remembers your passwords. In the new computer, it's not called keychain. It's in Ventura and Sonoma. It's called passwords. And if I click on passwords and I try to get it, right, it asks me to use my computer password. So if you've given anyone else access to your computer password being the one that you type in when you open your computer. So say you have a roommate and you've told them the access to your computer password, they can also get into your passwords. And this passwords here will have all the passwords, including the passwords to your bank, the passwords to whatever that you use. Does that make sense? Now, I'm going to do this right now because at first glance, it won't show me the passwords. I'm going to go ahead and put in my my computer's password here. So you'll know how to use this, and you guys can do it yourselves. When people are saying, "Oh, I found it," this is what they're doing. They're going to passwords. You go in there, and then it shows you what passwords this computer has remembered. And you might have a ton, or you might have very few. And so that I want to know, for example, what was my password for Amazon? What was my password for Apple? What was my password for whatever it is that you have in here? So I don't remember it. Or first of all, I'm going to go say that I go to the password for Amazon. And I want to check it. Then I have to click on this little guy right there, this I. And so it goes, well, first of all, it tells me that this is a password that's been compromised. I should change it. But beyond that, if I want to see it, right, it's still not showing it. Oh, sorry, it's still not showing it to me. So in order to see it, you need to either right now I hovered over it and it gave it to me because I already put in the password, or if it's in the other computer, you actually need to type in your password again. And it asks you a few times and then it shows it to you. Put your mouse over it and you would see it. And it shows you the username too. See, that's the username. This is what Catherine was asking about. And then you can see the password in there. I'm going to stop right now because I moved one step further and all of you will see the password, right? Still, this is a fake computer with fake accounts, but that said, I still don't necessarily want to share all that stuff all the time. Okay, so this is how you would find your passwords. All right. Once you get out of that and you go to something else, if you come into the passwords, I think it only lets it signed in for a little bit. Once I come in again, boom, you have to type it in again. Okay. Now this is exactly the same thing as your phone has, but if you've forgotten the password for something, go to the passwords place here, or if you are, and let me stop and share on this computer, on the Monterey. And the Monterey, over here, there's passwords. Okay, same thing. You click on passwords and it's going to have you enter to see your passwords. And then on your phone, the same thing. Go look for the same situation. So you need to then put in your password. But if you've given your passwords away, that's how safe they are. This was to Catherine's question, how safe are the passwords? They're just as safe in one device as in another. You just don't want to share your passwords with anyone. Now, that said, if you have someone that is of your utmost confidence, and for some people it is their spouse, for some people it isn't their spouse. I'm not going to say it needs to be your spouse. Someone else, maybe your spouse is someone who is Alzheimer's. The last thing you need to do is give them their passwords, or someone who has bad memory. So you need to give it to someone that you truly, truly trust, because the whole like Post-it note next to your computer with passwords is safe only until someone breaks into your house or a visitor visits your home, right? So you might have someone opening your drawers to find your little Post-it note with passwords. So if you're going to have a Post-it note with passwords, have it in a really secure place, not right next to your computer screen. Got it? That is much less safe. People are like, oh, I don't want my computer to remember my password. They think it's not safe. Much less safe is A, to forget it, or B, to have it written on a Post-it note in your third drawer. That is much less safe because any visitor can find that Post-it, versus it's really hard to hack into people's passwords. Does that make sense? And it's really easy to forget them. So the best thing is to have your computer remember it, because then they need to know your password, and then don't share that initial password to anyone. I'm seeing Lori say, could you please cover security risks found under passwords? Oh, thank you. Let me, in mine, it says that there was a security risk. You saw that message that I got in mine. Let me share it again. That's a good question. I need to do it. I don't use my Amazon much, and so I didn't bother, but I should. Notice that when I went in here, and I clicked on Amazon, compromise removes password. Is that the one you're talking about, Lori? Is that your question? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Well, actually, go back one screen, Deanna. And see up at the top, security recommendations.
Yeah, for Amazon and for another, it's the same thing. For Amazon
I
and for two more.
31.
It's the same thing. It's this. It's the fact that a compromised reuse password. This password has appeared in a data leak, which puts the account at high risk of compromise. So you know how sometimes, and you're also using this password on epidemicsound.com and an SBCC, which compromises the password. So what they're basically telling me, A, I'm using the same password on 3 things, which is not good. And B, what it's telling me is that there was a data leak. You know, in the news, you suddenly will, it's always in the news. You'll find a news message that says, there's been a big data leak for password, for Target, for Amazon, for, you know, for things. And when that happens, that means that it's not you who've been hacked. And that's the point I was trying to say. Unless you are the most famous writer who wins Nobel Prizes, or a star, or someone who owns, you know, the CEO of a company, if like you're someone that who would be targeted because they know that you have information that's important, they might target you. But for the most part, no one targets you, little old normal person going through life. So what they do target is companies. And so if there's a leak, it'll be in those places, like when they target your bank, and then your bank gets hacked, which they have all the security measures in the world, but if your bank gets hacked, they get access to a whole list of people. Like the other day, I got a message from, what was it? I put it on the list of things to handle on my to-do list. Some company sent me a thing saying, hey, our company has had a leak and they took your name, your phone number, and your social security, but not your password. Other times they'll tell you they took passwords. They tell you what was hacked into. And they said, please go in and check that your was okay, and please change your password. So that's what this is. It's telling me that the password I use for Amazon has been compromised to go ahead and change it. So I should do it one of these days, because someone could suddenly order $10,000 worth of stuff using my password, and then I'd be in trouble. So I should change it. I know, I just haven't. But there you go. Life. That's what everyone says until then suddenly you do get charged $10,000 that you didn't swear. So ideally, you can do that. Now, I'm going to stop my share. So that's what that was. Warning that this password has been, and on top of that, that I use it in 3 other places. So all those 3 places are now compromised. So I have to go and change my password in all those 3 places because it's a known password now. I shouldn't use it anymore. That's what that was. Got it, Lori? All good?
Yep.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I have 43 recommendations. And is it enough to delete it just from my passwords, or do I need to go to every website to change it?
Oh, God, no. Thank you. Great question. So when you went to your security, you have 43 recommendations. Probably it's because you use the same password on everything.
No,
Probably. No? Okay.
I think it's credit cards that possibly got hacked.
Okay. And I'm saying probably because it's so many, but if not, it could be that it's many places that that got hacked. Okay. So, and the answer is no, you can never change. And if you see, if I were to share my screen again, it says, go to your, let me share it again that way, because this is really important. You guys need to go check your passwords now and then to see if this is happening. And I'm going to go ahead and when I click on that, it tells me. And you have to change the password on the website. See how it says change password on the website, meaning you can't go to, so if I go over here, Chase Papron website for, say, this Epidemics Cloud, it takes me to that website. Oh, I'm not sharing my entire screen. It takes me to that website, okay? And in this website, you need to log in, put in your password, and then go to their system where it says change password. So every time you log in, if you forgot your password or you didn't, it tells you how to do that, right? So if I put in my email and this one was remembered and it remembers my password. In fact, see this little keychain? That's it. That's me going to the password. This is the password that I've been told has been for Epidemic Sound. And in the movies class, we put sound on our movie. And so I created an account here. Once you log in to any of the, and this is in general, and I'm just logging into Epidemic Sound, but no matter what, you go to the account option, which is usually kind of their account. And then you have to change the password. Every single place where you have passwords, it allows you to change the password. It looks one way or the other. It will always be there. But you need to put in a new password, and many times so to change your password, you need to know the current password, is what I'm trying to say. They ask you for your current one, and then your new one, because if not, anyone can change anyone's passwords. So you need to know the new one. So you type in the new one, and then you put in the old one. So the problem is, what if you don't know your password? And that's why you're doing this, because you don't know your password. So you need to change the password. Then you can't change your password, right? So then what you need to do is they need to have an email address for you where they can send you a link to prove that you are you. Then they give you a special link to change your password, and then you put in a new password, and then you have to go and put it temporarily. It's a longer step. Why? Because they don't want anyone changing their password. They want only the person who also can receive emails. That means that that is you. And in there, they give you a link that then you have to prove by giving them some other, maybe you've given them your maiden name or stuff like that. And then you can go in and change your password. So changing passwords is also the way to be. So over here, it says verify your email to get the most out of it, send verification email. I haven't done this because I did this temporarily for one class, but once I send verification email, they'll know that my email is safe for this account in order to change my password. So it's a whole process, but you need to go do it to each one of those 43 places and change your passwords internally. In this case, I have 3 that I need to go do that with. But if you have 43, get to work, right? All right.
I got one done.
Yeah. All right. So by the way, you guys, this class, I told you what we'd be dealing with today, what we were going to be learning in this class, and I showed you all these apps and stuff like that. But the first class is all about accounts, as you can see, which is what we're doing right now. And whenever I talk accounts, we end up always talking passwords and security. So it's this is not me going off on tangents. Sometimes people go, I thought you were going to teach us about mail. It's all about your accounts. Right. And so this is it. Know your accounts. You have to know I've already dealt with this in the last class, but if you don't know, if you're new to this class and you don't know your Apple ID password, for example, that's another really important one to know. Let me once again say why. Say that again. You lost your everything in a fire, or it doesn't even to be so desperate. You left your computer at home. You're traveling just with your phone. That's a very typical situation, right? That you're traveling with your phone and you don't bring your computer with you. You went to visit your daughter, maybe you bring it because you're going to be there. But if you went to Paris to tour around Europe, how many of you bring your computers? Probably not many, unless you're a working professional that keeps working. So most of you just bring your phones. Well, what if that phone gets lost, forgotten in a taxi, stolen, robbed, falls into the ocean? Then what do you do? Because now you don't have your devices that remember these passwords for you, right? So the next time you go to any computer, you're in a cruise, the boat's computer, a library, your daughter's computer, you try to sign into your iCloud account. And guess what? Your daughter's computer doesn't remember your passwords. The library's computer doesn't remember your passwords. So you need to know how to access your Apple ID computer account, so that then there you have all the information that you'd had on your phone numbers, your calls, your emails, your addresses, because it's in the cloud. That is what the cloud is for. It has everything that your phones, your computers, and your iPad has. It's in the cloud. Also, if you buy another phone because you're in Europe and someone stole it and you need one, you buy another phone, they're going to say, okay, we'll set up your phone with your stuff. Can you give me your Apple ID and password? And you go, I don't know it. So then your phone is blank. It doesn't have your stuff. The only way for your phone to fill up with your stuff is to give it your Apple ID and password. So you need to know your passwords, guys. You need to know your passwords. All right. If you don't know them, contact those people who set up accounts for you, be it someone you paid or be it a family member. Or if there's no way, there's no one else who remembers it but you, then you need to contact the customer service of that company and ask them, how do I jump through all the hoops? I've lost my password. This is me. They might put you through, you know how every time when you sign up, they ask you to answer some private questions and stuff like that, that hopefully are questions that you've answered correctly. Like, things that, some people, again, do those answers and answer whatever. And I'm like, no, those are your security accesses. Don't answer them. You're afraid someone will find them, but that's the way to get in again, knowing that information. So never put in your maiden name. Everyone can get it. No, don't put in your mother's maiden name. Everyone can find it in the records. Don't put in the address you lived in 10 years ago. It's in the records. Anything that's in the records, don't use. You need to do things like your favorite teacher, that you've have only one favorite teacher, and what if you had 3 favorite teachers? That won't work. You know what I mean? Find things that are unique to you. The color of your first car. That's probably not in any record, right? And you'll remember that your color of the first car was yellow. Fine. But don't put in things that any record has been made of it as your security questions, because your son's birthday, anyone can find it. Things that anyone can find are not good security questions. They need to be things that only your brain can remember, okay? But that is so memorable, because it's so memorable that you won't forget. If you have 3 best friends, don't put the name of your best friend. because which one did you use, right? So, you know, that kind of thing. All right, that's enough about security and passwords for now. If you have any passwords set up in any situation that wasn't so ideal, go and change them right now. You remember it, you make your own record of it, okay? All right, Catherine.
You
Oh.
know, it showed up on my doc as as an added account for the added accounts, but now when I tried to run a test, it's saying online, cannot send a message using the server.
I don't know what you're talking about. What showed up on your doc?
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me get back to Zoom. Where's the Zoom? Why won't it let me make this smaller? I don't know. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's
Mhm.
I can't get my Zoom to show up. I can't. Oh, here, let me just move this over. Okay. And you know what? It's I'm not
Why
getting.
why don't you figure out how to get to your screen in a minute, and then meanwhile I'll ask Bob. Okay,
Oh.
and then you can, so Bob?
Yeah,
Yeah,
hi.
Hi.
You know, I was able to call myself Pipeline on the Apple Mail, but I can't on my Gmail, which I added the Pipeline account as well. It calls me by my name, and I can't change it to Pipeline.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me a second while I move over to the big screen because I need to see bigger. Okay, so let me see. You're in your Gmail. Okay, so where you are right now is nowhere not at all what I'm teaching. And let me explain. You are in the internet and you are accessing your email through the internet. Okay, so this is fine. It's a way to get into your email, but this is not where you change the email. What we are learning right now is how to do it on the Mac. So that's why you're not seeing it. Okay. So in the Mac, go to your system preferences. Go down on the dock. You have your system settings.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm not seeing them. Are they appearing on some other screen or?
Yeah, I'll bring them over. I have two screens.
Yeah, can you share? There they go. Okay, so now go down to password, go down onto passwords to internet accounts. Go down. There you go, internet accounts. And in this one that says Google,
Right there.
click on that. Yeah, click on that one. And then under details, no, that's the wrong one. That's what that one says. Oh,
That's my actual
yeah,
one of
so
my-
go backwards, go back then. Why does it say Google instead of your name, Bob? It should have said, so go back where it says details.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should say Bob. So go down to where it says details. Go down, go into the Google again. Now go to the top where it says details. And at the very top where it says description, you changed it to the name Bob, but not to the description. So the description Google needs to change to Bob.
Oh,
Or
wow.
or whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So there,
Okay.
the one that the one that's highlighted where it says Google.
Oh,
Yeah. That one. Now delete that and write the name and don't say okay.
Do I really
don't-
want to? Because actually, Diana, that's my Moran.Robert P. is
Yeah.
not the SBCC pipeline one.
Yeah, but leave this. You have this one. This is good. But describe it the way it is. Write personal or write Moran Roberts, whatever. Instead of Google, go
Okay.
ahead and write something in there that describes this email. Not under name, above, under the word Google. Leave Bob or whatever you want in there, but the one you need to change is that one. Yeah, that one.
All right.
Okay, so call that one personal, real one, main one, or call it Moran.Robert, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
And then you can say, okay, you can leave Bob in the name underneath. That doesn't matter. No, 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 no.
I'm gonna call it Moran.Robert.
Oh,
'cause I-
okay. Okay, got it.
And then
Rob-
name, I guess I can say Bob, right?
Yeah, Bob, whatever. And now say, okay. Whoops. And now say, okay. And now when you back out of that, now go up to the top arrow and back out. Now see how it's described as Moran.Robert. See that?
Cool.
And now to add your pipeline, go to add account again.
Let's do that. All right. I
And
know.
now go to Google
Yeah,
and now add your, say, open browser and go and add your pipeline username at pipeline.sbcc.edu.
okay.
Okay. A lot of
Yeah.
the people, it defaults to your personal one, but the one that we need to add here is the pipeline one at pipeline.sbcc.edu.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, at this point, I want a show of hands from everyone. And the show of hands that I want is I want everyone to say yes if you have put in, hold on, I need to clear your feedback. And I can't actually until I have access to, give me a second, clearing your feedback. So now I want everyone to tell me a pipeline, yeah, pipeline. Okay. I want everyone to say yes if you have connected at the very minimum your pipeline account to your computer, to your phone, and to your iPad. Ideally, you should enter all your emails. Like Bob here had 2 different email addresses plus his pipeline. So that's 3 plus the iCloud, that's 4 accounts. Okay. And everyone here should have at least the very minimum you'd have the iCloud that comes in and your pipeline. And ideally, your personal email address too. So at least those 3. And then if you have other email addresses that you use very little or very much or very nothing, but they're still alive, put them in there again, because I'm going to show you how to disable them and why you would want them in there or not. Okay. Go ahead and say allow. And now you're set. Now this you can minimize. This is your Chrome. This has nothing to do with today's class for now. You minimize or close it. And now you can say login. No, this is just, again, this is your past. This is all internet. I guess you were
Yeah.
trying to get into internet. So go ahead and leave. You don't need to any of this for today's class. Minimize, 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 because I want you just to have open only that which we are using for this class, which is this. Okay, now say done. Because if not, you can't get to your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go, done. So now go into this account that says pipeline, go up to the details.
Yeah. Okay.
And now instead of that, you can write, instead of, oh, that pipeline brand 2, just write pipeline, or because it'll be hard to distinguish otherwise with such a long name. I prefer just a short description. So pipeline or something like that, and then say, okay. So everyone, please change the description to something, and I'll show you now where you'll see this description. Okay, go ahead and say, no, the name you don't need to change at all. I mean, that is your name, and just the description is the only thing that needs to change. All right, and say, okay. Now, when you back out of this one, like it's not there, sorry, there, yeah, you're right there. I tapped on the
Yeah,
wrong thing.
pipeline now. Thank you.
There it says pipeline. This is Moran.Robert, which probably means your personal one. And then it says Boston Bob, which is another Gmail. So this is how everyone's needs to look. On your computer, at the very least, I want your iCloud is going to be there because that's just, the iCloud puts itself there. And your pipeline is at the very least. And ideally, you'll put in your personal email. And I'm going to show you why. And you're like, no, I always get it from somewhere else. This is a class where you're learning, right? So trust me, put in your personal one. And if you have any others, put them in. You might end up with 6 or 7, or you might be like, I don't have any others. Well, at the very least, if you have no others, you have your iCloud, your pipeline. Everyone has a pipeline, and you all have a personal one. So at the very least, you should have those 3. All right. Cool. And that should be so on your phone as well. Okay, and on your iPad if you have an iPad. All right, yes, Catherine?
Okay, so I can share my screen now and show you.
Okay, good. Go for it. Share your screen.
To Zoom.
And when I see yeses from everyone, your phone and your iPad have at least your pipeline and one other email address, which is ideally is your personal one. Then you give me a yes. And I'm seeing some yeses there. I'm making sure that that's what that yes means. If that yes didn't mean yes, then give me a no. A lot of the times later, I see people who go, well, I never put in my pipeline account. This is the time. This is the time to put it in. All right.
So
Catherine, let me explain. You're moving ahead in that I haven't opened this with everyone else, but that said, if you go to that little warning sign there for those two, yeah, click on them. It's saying there may be a problem with your settings, right? So try again. So it's probably that go ahead and say try again. And go down to your settings, the thing that now you're sharing only your email, so I won't see it. You need to share your entire screen or share your settings again.
there's my settings, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
right now it's not.
Sorry, it's so small.
Yeah, no, it's nothing. It's kind of, I'm in transition mode. I don't see anything. It kind of went
okay.
gray.
Fun.
You have
Okay,
to go up and change your screen. Go up to the thing where it says new share. And
right?
then share your entire
Desktop.
desktop. Yeah. And then say, okay, and then there we go. All right, so
Okay.
go to your settings.
Try
No,
it
that's
again.
just try again, but you need to go to your settings. It's
Oh,
telling you,
yeah,
go into,
sorry, I
so go to your settings, password. Yep, there we go. And now go to your accounts down at the bottom. Keep going, internet accounts. There we go.
so
And now in here, go to both of them, either one. And over here where it says details
I'm sorry, my Zoom thing is floating
in
around.
the way. Okay. Go to details and something here is not right. It's either your username or your password. And again, I won't be able to tell you this right now. You need to go into the keychain and make sure that what you have in here is, but if this is the only thing that's on your keychain is this one that's wrong, then it'll still be wrong.
There's
Right?
two of them, and I'm just wondering, because I just set up a hello for my other website, and I did it through Gmail. These are workspace, Google Workspace accounts
Yeah.
that I made.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try to do it from Google Works in the same way I did that.
Yeah, but the
Yes.
thing is too, is that you said that someone set these up for you. So maybe truly, maybe that is not like the password or something, and go check it out in the workspace. You need to go and
Right,
find
or
there the right
change my
password and then put
password.
it in here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And maybe it's not a POP, maybe it's a IMAP because it's a different situation. So then you
Right.
need to find that out from.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay. All right. So she was sharing her email with all her accounts, which is something that we're all going to get to. But for now, I've got yeses from everyone-ish. I know that, Afra, you didn't say yes, but I know that we set this up the other day last time when you were in person in class. So I know that you have your pipeline set up there, and that's correct. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys. I've got so many computers. Okay, here I'm showing. Okay, so now I'm going to close all of this out and I'm going to open up. And this isn't for you to learn how to do, by the way, the stuff that I'm teaching you. This is a show and tell. This moment from now, at this point, it's a show and tell. So I'm going to open up my email app. Just watch. And my email app is this one. And this is the part that gets confusing because a lot of people are like, wait, what do you mean your email app is this one? I check Gmail, like just now, Bob went to Gmail to check his email. Right now it's refreshing because I haven't done it in a while. Let me minimize it, let it refresh on its own. A lot of you guys check your email. Let me go to our class handouts. And by the way, everyone else knows where the class handouts are, but Janaki, I didn't get to share that with you yet. In order to get to your class handouts, open a browser, any browser, and we're going to go and find out where the class handouts are. And the reason I'm saying this is because we're about to show you. So you're going to go into sbcc.edu. and then sign into your pipeline account. And I'm going to do it rather quickly-ish, but then I'm going to send an email with a reminder of how to do all of these steps. But right now, you go into your pipeline account. As usual, I need my two-factor. I need to go to my phone to wait to get a text, which is my authentication 639624. Okay. And as much as this, okay, and then over here, you're going to go to student. Once you get into your pipeline account, right, you're going to go to student and student resources. Student resources. And then inside of student resources, we're going to head over here to Google Drive. I'm going to click on Google Drive, and I'll send you a video, Janaki, with the steps for how to get to this again, in case right now you fall behind a bit. Once you're in your Google Drive, if you've never used it, it might say, welcome, boxes, and let me show you how to do this, all of that. But we need to go to shared drives. And under shared drives, you will see the whatever classes you're signed into. And if you're signed into many, you'll see many, but if not, you'll see only Mac Intro, Level 1, and Level 2. And this is where you have your handouts, which I'm about to use one of the class handouts, but also this is where you see the class recordings. So this one here, and it's hard to see, but this one is for Mac Level 1. These are the recordings, and this is Mac Level 2, which is today. So at the end of the class, when I double click on this one, at the end of the class today, we're going to have this recording needs to be processed. And on top of that, it takes like 4 hours to process it by the computer. Then I have to download it, upload it, process it myself until I can put the link. And I'm teaching all day today. So this won't get up until either tonight or tomorrow morning. You will have a recording of today's class in here, next week's class in here, and so on and so forth. But right now, if you want to go to the Mac Level 1 recordings, I recommend taking the class versus doing that. But this is an example of how you will find the recordings of the class that just finished. All right. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I am trying to find a handout, which I believe is here. Nope, that's web browser versus search engine. Where's my email handout? It does not look like I have my email handout in. Oh, here it is. Thank you. Thank you to me. All right. I don't know why I said thank you, but I just meant to say, let me open this a bit bigger so that you can all see the whole handout. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's what we're going to be doing and why I want you guys to set all your internet accounts. An example is just the Mail app, but the Mail app in this case is in my dock. It's this one that looks like a little envelope, and you might go, I have never used that, or I don't even have it on my dock, but it's called Mail. And that's the one that I'll be teaching you how to use. But let me explain why we're going to actually use this. And it's because this is not an Apple email account. This is not about getting an email that comes through Apple. This is about getting all your emails in the same place. Let me share. Most people go to the internet and go to the Google Gmail, for example, and that's where they get their Gmail. And then they have a different Gmail account, and then you have to change your account to another Gmail account, or then you need to open up and go to your Yahoo account or go to your Happily Ever After account. You have to see them all separately. The beauty of this Mail app account is that you can see all your accounts in one. So in my Mail app, I now have entered my pipeline, my personal, my Gmail, my work, my old one that I never use, whatever it is that I've entered in. And in one app, I can see all those emails at the same time or separately. And I'll teach you how to do that. So whenever you say, oh, this is bugging me, well, you don't need to see them all at the same time. You can see only your personals, only one thing at a time. But you have the ability to see them all at the same time. Not only that, but this that I just set up, I'm talking about mail, but it would work the same for your calendar, for your notes, for your contacts. So some of you have contacts in your Gmail app, in another app, in this app, and whatever. So by entering all these accounts this way, you now have access to everything from your Apple computer. You have accounts from any account that you own. So in my case, I have the SBCC teacher that I just showed you. I have my pipeline. I have a personal one. And then I have my Yahoo one. Those are the 4 that I set up. And let me just show you what I mean by those are the 4 that I set up. When I went over here to internet accounts, I have my iCloud. I have my Google here. I haven't changed this yet to say pipeline. Sorry. I did it on my phone. SBCC. I need it on each one. So now I have my cloud, my pipeline, my SBCC teacher, and my Yahoo. I leave this one as Yahoo, but I could change it, and let me explain why. Because I call this one my junk mail, and this is just for you guys to see. I normally wouldn't need to do that. I just know that, and I'll explain what I mean by my junk mail in a second. Okay, but these are the 4 accounts that I have in here. All right, so now let me show you what I mean in the mail app. And I'm going to show this to you in all the other accounts as we go along. But here now I'm going to open my mail app. And in my mail app right now, I can see that it says all inboxes. So what does all inboxes mean? All the emails that I put in there, every single email that I put in there now is showing me by date. So today up here, I have all of the emails I got today. As I keep scrolling down the emails I got yesterday and so on and so forth. And then it tells me over here, this one arrived today into my junk mail at 11:47 a.m. Another one into my junk mail, another one into my junk mail. Oh, at 11:28, I got this one into my SBCC teacher. And 11:22, I got this one into pipeline. And then 11:21, I got this one into my junk mail and this one into my SBCC teacher. See how it tells me what it is? So if I want to see my emails in order of arrival, all of them at once, then I see things in like that way. I can now, so in order of arrival. So I can see up until today, 11 a.m., 10 a.m. I keep going, pipeline, SBCC teacher, junk, pipeline. In order of arrival, I get to the end of today. What's the end of 6 a.m., 6 a.m.? This is why this is just today. And I get to yesterday. Okay. So as of 12:03 a.m., as of here, this is all the emails that all my different accounts received today. Okay. Which is crazy making because I have my junk mail included. Let me just show you what I mean. I'm going to go here instead of all inboxes. I'm going to click on this little arrow next to the word all inboxes. And now I can use this to see only emails that arrived in my pipeline account. This is it. This is all pipeline. And it doesn't say pipeline now because I've selected pipeline. And now I see at 11:22, I got something at 11:03 So boom, basically down to here, these 5 are pipeline emails from today. SBCC teacher got all of these emails today. My junk mail got all of these emails today. And if I look down, you'll see that I get a ton of stuff in the junk mail. Most of my stuff is from my junk mail, right? That's it. So, and this is the gist of the class. We're going to keep practicing and we're going to be working with this next class and in all these accounts. How do I then only see the emails that I want? I don't want to see my junk mail. I do want to see my pipeline and my personal. I don't want to see that one all the time. So I can just, in my settings, go to my junk mail. Okay, this is where we were, internet accounts, and tell it, don't show me my mail. I don't see the mail from this account anymore. So when I go back to my mail, there it is. I'm not seeing the mail from my account anymore. You see that? So now I have much less stuff. Another thing that I get too much on is my SBCC teacher, because I personally use it for, I'll explain what I use each one for. So if so, I can go in here and say, yeah, don't show me that mail either. So right now, I'm at the point where I go here, the only things I'm seeing is my iCloud and my pipeline. And so this would be, let's call this is my personal, for the school computer, this is my personal one and my pipeline. And when I see all my inboxes, you'll notice that I'm just getting things to my pipeline, because in this computer, I don't get much into my personal. So then it's easy to go into all inboxes and just check my mail this way. And this is only the mails that I do want to see. On the other hand, if I have these turned on because I temporarily don't want to see it, but I do know that I get important things in here, then I turn it on from the accounts, or I turn this one on again from my accounts. And then here we go. Now I am seeing all 4, and I can choose to see my junk. I can choose to see this one or that one. But if I go see all inboxes, then I see them all interwoven by order of arrival. Okay. I'm going to keep teaching. We're all going to practice this. But if at this point you've checked your email, now you don't need to go to 3 different accounts on the internet to see all your emails, especially if you work. This is so much more comfortable, because then you can see at the same time with one app, you can go, okay, let me check my personal stuff. Oh, okay, my mom wrote to me, my son wrote to me, but I'm working, so I don't really want to deal with these right now. I'm working, so I'm going to check my work account, and I'm just going to deal with work emails. And then later this afternoon, when I'm ready, I'll go and check both. Or no, I'm the kind of person who wants to see everything, and I work from home, so I might as well answer my mom and then answer an email from work and then answer an email from, my other account, and I have them all at once. It's a choice instead of having to go and run around everywhere. And in particular, people who get things into a lot of you guys get things into your pipeline email and you don't know that it arrived. You have no idea your teachers are sending you stuff into your pipeline or whatever, because you would have to go and open a browser, go into SBCC pipeline, go into the SBCC pipeline, sign in, and then you would check in your Gmail, and then there you go. Now you're looking at your pipeline email. Most of you guys don't do that. You never check your pipeline email. Well, there you go. You don't need to check your pipeline email anymore. You just have it set up here. And when you want to see if someone sent you something from pipeline, there it is. When you don't want to see it, you just don't choose it. Okay. I told you this part was just demo. And we will all do this later. It's 12 p.m. and I know the class finishes in 3 minutes. So just so you get an overview of what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you that same setup that we did also works for everything else. So now, for example, if I go to contacts over here, I can check out all my contacts, or I can check only the contacts from my pipeline account, or from my personal, or from my SBCC teacher, because I have different people that from work than I have personal. So now I can distinguish my personal versus my email accounts, right? Again, I'll show you this later, but say I don't want to see my junk email contacts, then I just turn it off from here. That's as simple. And then when I go back into contacts immediately, I'm not seeing my junk email accounts anymore. Got it? And this works for calendar. It works for everything. Okay. I'm not going to teach everything in one day. I'm just trying to teach you the concept of why we put all our accounts in here, because you control from here what you want to see of each account. And if you don't want to see anything from your junk mail, then I just take these things off. And when it says delete from my Mac, I'll explain in a minute what that means. It means that on this computer only, I can turn off the notes from that comes to my junk mail. That doesn't mean that the notes doesn't still exist and that I can't still see them. Same with my mail. If I go back to mail, I can up in Yahoo, I go up and there's my Yahoo mail. I just don't want to see them right now here, right? So that's what turning this off here means. Just not seeing them, but I will still have the emails. They're still arriving to my email account. If I go up and say yahoo.com email, and there's all my emails. Okay. All right. So that is the general gist explanation of what and why we're going to do. And most importantly, we're going to use our pipeline account for this. we're gonna send each other emails and stuff like that, because those are not personal. I don't want anyone to be using personal emails for this or personal contacts and stuff like that. But yes, we can use our pipeline ones, okay? And that's why I wanted everyone to put in the pipelines in there. If at the end of the class, you're like, well, I don't want to receive my pipeline anymore. You saw how easy it is. Go to your accounts and turn off the little pipeline. But it's there for when you figure out that's not a bad idea. I did want to see emails from my teachers, and boom, you turn it on again, right? Or like I do with my junk mail. Why do I still have that? And this is the last thing before I'm done today. I have a junk email address that's a live, normal, good email address, but everyone who asks me for my email that I don't really want to receive their emails, but they need an email from me, I give them what I call my junk mail. And so I receive a lot of stuff in there that I've signed up for. And that then when people say you sign up for Macy's, well, guess what? Macy's sells their email address, and then you start getting spam. Why? Because you signed up to Macy's. And if you sign up to, whatever you sign up to, unless you know who they are and what they are, they then sell your email address, and then you start getting tons of spam. So anything that's not something I really know and want, those I give me my personal address, but everyone else gets the what I call my junk mail. The whole point of that is that now and then, if I do need to go in there for some reason, and it does happen that now and then I'll get something like Amazon. Guys, whenever I buy something in Amazon, they send you reminders and this and that and whatever. And yes, you can unsubscribe for them, or they just have my junk email. I never need to see 2,500,000 things from Amazon, but now and then I might want to check in on an invoice or something. Okay, I just turn on my emails, check it out, do what I need to do, turn it off and keep going. And like when I see turn it on and off is I just mean this, turn it on and off from here. I temporarily access it. I go, oh, I need to see my Yahoo emails for a second. I go over there, I do whatever I need to do, and then I'm done. And in another month, I won't need them anymore. So I just turn it off from here. Does that make sense? And it's all accessible or useful to me when I want to or when I don't want it. That's the gist of all of the communications things that go on with the cloud on all your devices. So now the same thing with your phone. If on your phone you don't want to get pipeline, but you're okay getting it on your computer, then you leave it on your computer, but on your phone you turn it off and you only get your personal ones. Does that make sense? And how you turn it off on your phone is the same way, by changing the little slider. So with that in mind, we're going to continue on Thursday. Okay, so if you have resisted up until now, for some reason or another, not put in your pipeline account on all your devices, please do so. Please put your pipeline account on all devices. Ideally, put in everything on all your devices, and then we'll learn how to handle them. Handle everything from all of those, and that includes your personal accounts and otherwise you'll have all of these here, and then you'll still have to go to your personal Gmail app to see your Gmail account versus seeing them all at the same time. It's not wrong to do the other. I'm just showing you the way, the Apple way, and then you can still choose to do it your way. But just for the course of the next 3 weeks, we're going to do it this way. And then you can decide if you like one thing better than the other. I have a class starting in at this point, because I've already gone 5 minutes over, and I'm sorry, I try never to go over. I have a class starting in 40 minutes. So most of you are accustomed that I stay a long time answering questions, but now I'm actually gonna not answer questions for a long time, and I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna close, I needed to finish this wrap up of what we're gonna be doing, but next week I'll finish teaching stuff 10 minutes early. And then after that, I'll take as many questions. I know people have questions, lists of questions and stuff. I'll take questions until it's time for the class to end. And then during the class, please ask me your questions. But if it's a question that's like kind of out of the blue, out of something else, those last 10 minutes of class would be the time to ask me those out of the blue kind of questions. All right. Or send me an email. All right.
All right,
So
Deanna,
for today,
thank
I'm just
you.
going to bow out, and I'll see you everyone at 9. No more steps. Everyone comes in at 9 on Thursday, and we will continue. Your homework is all your accounts and all of your devices. All right. That's your homework. Okay.
Okay, Deanna, you're the best. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Lee. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, I'm still getting that I can't connect to the account. And I changed the password and it's the same one on my phone and I have 2 iPads and it
So
works.
can you
now.
share your screen one more time? And as I said, I need to go. So let me just check really quickly, see if I can see something. All right, so go ahead and say cancel this for a second. All right, so you said you can receive, but you can't send. So no, cancel. This clearly
It
says
popped
it's
back
not.
up. It pops up about 4 times.
I know. And the thing is that normally,
There
some-
it is.
Okay.
And
now,
it,
hold on. What I'm saying is that normally when something's not working,
mhm,
right? What you should be seeing here is that little like warning sign that has an exclamation point. You don't have that, right?
No.
So in the normal sense of events, that's what you should be seeing. Since you don't have that, something else seems to be happening.
It
Go
it
to your system settings for a second, which you don't have. Yeah, there you go. And go into the internet accounts down there. And let's open up your Gmail. Okay, and let's go to the details. All right. So, oh no, sorry, not to the details, say cancel. Once it's set up, we can't go in to see all the settings of it. But you know where we can do that from? Let's
And
go
see
back
if
to
it's
mail for a
trying
second. Yeah.
again.
Say cancel and then go up here to mail preferences, mail settings. And now click on that one. Oh, it says IMAP. Okay. And oh, Catherine's not here. I had told her most are POP, but I'm noticing that this is an IMAP. Maybe that's the issue she's having. Hers is an IMAP, not a POP. I should tell her that. Anyway, so here's,
Is she in the next class?
I don't know if she's in the iLife. Is she? I think so.
I think so, yeah.
So let's go to over here, server settings. Sorry, the last one.
And
Yeah,
this,
this is where you should have it. Outgoing email account, it says offline. The outgoing account is offline.
should I try that?
Try that one. Let's see if perchance that works now.
Well, there's nothing outbox anymore.
No, outbox is different. Yeah, outbox means, yeah.
And
there
I
you
got
go.
it. I got it.
Yay, there we go. Cool.
That might take care of my problem.
Yeah, yeah. And the outbox just means there's something that hasn't been sent yet. So go in here because you still have stuff in there. So otherwise you wouldn't get it. I'm your
I
Mac.
think it was when I had just made that test.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it's empty. Okay, great. There you go. Now it's set up and now I will take my break and I'll see you
in a half hour.
In a half hour.
Yeah. Oh God,
Okay.
yes. That
You're
was
welcome.
bugging me for so long. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, see you in a short time. Bye.